that for you. Do not.
ALTBAYS. ALTBAYS.
ALTBAYS.
This one is your volume, by the way, just for the headphones.
Okay, cool.
And we are live.
There I am. Oh my God.
ALTBAYS Show brought to you by ALTBAYS.nz. Exactly. We are sponsoring ourselves because, well, we can. It's very nice to see you guys. Good evening. It's been a great day. It's been an awesome day. If you want to do this, if you want to have your own podcast, you know what you should do? You should get in touch with us. ALTBAYS.nz. Send us a message. Look at this beautiful space. We're ready, bro. Yes. You should also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Horrible things happen to people who don't subscribe to our channel. Okay? So just remember that. The boys know. They have subscribed. That's why they are here, happy and healthy. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Don't follow us in real life, but on social media, it's so fine.
No, the comedy's already starting.
This guy's fucking zingers left to right. Yo, you can follow me anytime you want.
There you go.
Literally. I think
Gavin, give us the address, man.
for my Instagram.
So no, from
The
your
address
house.
here.
So we can
Oh, for
follow
my
you.
fucking, I'll give you, yeah. God, all right, my house. I am the second room on the left, 23. No, should I do it? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I'm moving out real soon anyway, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let
I'll
us
do
know.
it now. Yeah, 23 Cardigan Street. I won't be there in like a week, but you know, hey, we're live streaming,
And
so.
there are so many Cardigan streets around the world, eh?
It's like the whitest name for a street ever, right? Like Cardigan Street, you
Do
know?
you also say cardigan for
Yeah.
clothing in New Zealand? The cardigans.
If you see someone wearing it, who wears a cardigan?
Not a thing.
I don't just blurt it out randomly, you know? But like, yeah, if someone's wearing a cardigan, I'm calling that shit.
Although every time I think of the word cardigan, though, I think of what's his name off the Fresh Prince?
Will Smith?
No, the other fella, Carlton.
Oh yeah, he's like the supposed to be
Wears a
the.
cardigan.
Yeah.
But speaking of Will Smith,
Wait.
Yo,
Oh,
that's-
wait.
that's
No,
a
it's
question
fine.
in the
It's
middle
fine.
of the show.
I just want to say, hi. We're here with Brett Soanes.
Oh yes, hello. We're in the middle of an intro.
Yeah.
aren't
we
Yeah.
got so excited.
Yeah.
we're fine.
And Mr. Gavin Hewitson.
Hewitson, but like on stage, just Gavin Hughes on
Gavin
Instagram,
Hughes.
Gavin.Hughes.
Yes.
Yeah, nice and simple.
Now we can do it. Will Smith, what?
Oh no. Oh, you're a comedian, by the way.
Yes, and I've never been insulted on stage.
Assaulted or insulted?
Assaulted. Been insulted many times. Yeah. I'm a comedian, do stand up. That's my shtick.
Yep.
Don't really make any money, but I'm pretty good at telling jokes.
Is that because you're shitty or there's no money in comedy?
I think it's a combination of both. Yeah.
It's fast, eh?
Yeah, I think it's you know what? I'll tell you what. New Zealand is probably one of the best countries to do comedy, just in terms of being able to earn relatively quickly. It is like the only country in the world, from what I've heard. I've never done comedy overseas, but from everybody that I've met, totally
not
talking out of my
based on
fucking ass.
anything,
Yeah.
yeah.
this is not based on anything right now. Also, the Earth is flat.
I was thinking if it's just because the crowd laughs about anything. In New
Yeah, they're
Zealand.
real
Could
dumb.
be that.
No.
That's not it. Okay, cool. That's not it. I didn't say that.
This guy laughs at nothing.
Fuck you guys. Man. There's the only Kiwi here.
Yes, let's explain why.
The token
right?
Kiwi.
Sorry, yeah.
No, I'll tell you what though.
You're a Kiwi too.
I'll tell you about that in a sec. But yeah, like New Zealand is like the only country where the government funding just makes it so possible to actually produce a bunch of comedy and for people to actually earn some actual income, cover their cost on a regular basis.
Because they consider it an art, right? So
It's
you'll get an
great.
artist benefit or whatever if you wanted to.
Yeah, and like, listen, I'm a big fan of just like, you know, labor's policies when it comes to supporting the arts.
Nice.
Amazing. You
What
know?
about Nationals policies?
Listen, man, I don't know too much about National. All I know is that like I love labor, which is ironic because it's the last thing I'd ever do in my life. Labor.
I think National doesn't want competition. We can laugh at them, you know? We don't need the comedians doing the job.
This is true.
Sorry.
Oh,
I
zing!
just had to
Yo,
try.
you've divided the audience.
I had to try.
Is Fitianga like pretty act national? What's the
I think so.
yeah.
Our MPs for National.
Probably not ACT, though.
Not act. No.
probably not act?
Nah, I
Yeah.
would imagine so. But National because of farming, I suppose.
Yeah, of course, right. That makes total sense. Yeah, it's like all the urban populations. Big fan of Top. Do you guys remember Top, the Opportunities Party?
I remember hearing of them. Yeah.
Back in the day? Yeah, we talking politics now? Yo,
Why not?
I don't
Why
even know
not? Why not?
What way did they lean? I don't even know what way they leaned.
I reckon they were like, I think left, but they were like a very logic-based policies backing each one of them. Now I can't like break down every single policy.
That was the last election, no way. Was it the one
Yeah,
before?
yeah. So Gareth Morgan, Jeff Simmons, and they kind of just imploded because the fucking guy who founded it was just like a bit of a egomaniac, like, you know, multimillionaire, but should never have been like the head of that party or just involved in it because he was just so loud and just a bit of a dick, if I'm honest. But yeah, they kind of just imploded, and I think they're still looking at running again, but they just now would be a perfect time though, right? Because you have like a bunch of moderates who I think are somewhat discontented with Labor, but also like could never see themselves voting for National, so they're kind of torn between the two. So it's like, well, where do I go? Where do I go? Top would have been perfectly placed.
Yeah, because it is a weird scenario at the moment, isn't it? Because like me, for example, like I voted Jacinda in, and I thought she did a absolutely banger job of dealing with the pandemic up until recently, and then it was like, oh, okay, what's happening? What are we doing now?
Right.
You know, like, and then I'm like, okay, well, where else can I vote? You know, and then I'm like looking at National, and it had the bloody Crusher, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not voting for her.
Yeah, bro.
You know, and I'm like,
The
oh,
comedians should start a party then.
I think there used to be a party.
Man.
Dude, I think like Jono and Ben, the radio
they did,
hosts,
yeah,
didn't they have
yeah.
some like fake ass party?
they did as well. There was also the Pākehā party. That was, I think, was
Was that a
comedy
joke?
party. Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Great.
Why?
One, it's sort of racist.
Yeah.
But they had the best slogan, and it was Pākehā party because Pākehās like to party.
That's
that
pretty
was
good,
their
actually.
slogan. And
That's
I was just
good.
like, I like their slogan. I don't know who in Christ's name would vote for you, but they got a good slogan.
I'll tell you what, Guy Williams has a great sketch about the Pākehā party. Have you ever seen that? Where like he goes to interview like the head member or something like that of the Pākehā party, and the whole crew that he brings with him are Maori, and like he introduces them. He goes, "Listen, before we should start the interview, here's Widamu on the camera, you know, Heta on, you know, sound, and then there's this one guy, this other guy goes, oh yeah, he just kind of like stands around. I don't know, he's looking fucking like real gruff kind of thing. Hilarious.
Because his wife's a politician, eh?
She's green, yeah.
She's probably. This is actually.
She's a babe.
This is truth, actual truth. She is the most attractive New Zealand politician.
What's her
I
name?
swear to God,
100%.
she's beautiful.
She's like Iranian or I mean.
What's her name?
Shit, I don't know. Actually.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I
don't
don't
know her
know.
name?
Greens, nah.
Just look up Guy Williams' wife.
Just look up hottest MPs in New Zealand.
Number one.
She is a she's
She's beautiful.
Really good.
She's stunning. Yeah, 100%. Guy Williams did
Who
very,
was?
very well.
So maybe
Most
they're not
successful
together.
comedian
I
ever.
googled it one time. Hottest politicians in New
Is that
Zealand.
right? Who was
And
number two?
No, she was like she
It was just her?
No. She wasn't even number one.
Goris.
There was some dudes on there.
Garaman.
There was like 4 dudes and then her.
Well, that's what you're into.
Is that this chick here?
Let me see. I want to see.
It's not a.
I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that's her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goris. It's
Goriz Gahraman.
Is she Iranian?
Gori.
I want to say she's
Golriz. Yeah,
Guy
man.
Williams'
Just,
wife.
yeah, I love how quickly this has evolved. It's just boys talking.
No, we wanna have a look.
Taylor will also look up hot men MPs.
Oh, we can get it up on the screen. Yeah, look
Yeah,
up,
man.
look up topless male models.
Oh,
actually.
she's a beautiful woman. Shout
Yeah.
out to her.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Know nothing about her
That was
policies.
my favorite
whatsoever.
photo of her, that other one. Not
Which
that I
one?
would have a
Which one did you
favorite photo of
save?
her.
Yeah, on your phone. This one looks real familiar.
So she's Green Party.
Green Party.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Nice. Refugee
Is she?
MP. Oh, interesting.
Oh, you're just guessing. I was
No, it is written there.
So there you go, New Zealand. There's some good voting options. Anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nice.
He does a bunch of gigs actually. So like Chloe Sorbick will occasionally do stand-up comedy as well. Like, so I think she streams it in. She did one recently up in Kapiti or something like
What?
that.
She does stand-up comedy.
I mean, I think she
Really?
gives a little swing. You
She's
know?
great.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah, she started
man.
the whole OK Boomer thing, which is insane, right? That's
Yes.
fucking over the world.
Are you guys
Yeah.
friends? Do you know her?
Never met her. I don't even think I've met Guy Williams before, to be
Right,
honest.
right.
You know, you get like real isolated in like comedy. You have like
Have you met that guy?
what, Guy Williams?
No, that guy.
Which one?
Is that my phone making?
Yes, it was yours.
Oh, my wife. is
That
texting
guy?
me,
Oh,
telling me.
yo, you whipped,
Telling you
man.
all because we're talking about them fish.
Do you reckon it is? Could it be?
I think so. Angie.
She said, "Never mind her brilliant mind. She's pretty." She probably does have a brilliant mind. Sorry, love.
She does. She does. Yeah. I'm
I
sure.
will do some research on her because now I want to know. Yes, she looks like she's into it. Carry on.
Good save.
Oh no. What's his name? From the Line Red Sports Cafe.
What?
That guy. You remember him?
Nah.
He does Moon TV. Speedo Cops. His name escapes me.
No, I got no idea. He's a politician?
Hamster man from Amsterdam. No, he's a
Are you
comedian.
just making up words right now, dude? Like, are you having a fit? Are you sick? This sounds like a seizure over here.
Something happened here, man. He got him.
He's
Next
trying-
thing, I gotta go. Sorry.
My wife's
I'll
living.
Google it. His name escapes me. It's around the tip of my tongue.
Are you married, bro?
I'm not married. No. I just started dating my girlfriend. We're about like 4 months in.
Do
So
you believe in the institution?
you know, it's interesting you say that
Let's do it.
You want to get married with me, bro?
I'm a
It would
resident.
probably help-
I'm a resident. I'm all good.
You don't need it, man. Yeah, see, I'm a citizen, man. But what about?
I'll get there.
I've been working out.
I was born here.
You were born here, yeah.
Oh, Lee Hart.
Lee Hart. Yeah, I do know the name.
So his other alter ego is that guy. So he was like a hype guy on this funny sort of TV show with like Mark Ellis and stuff.
Yeah.
Called Line Red Sports Cafe, which was a sports cafe in Auckland.
Right. I wish I knew what this was.
But if you watch up Moon TV, you should Google it.
Moon TV?
He had like his own TV show, and he had all these different skits on there, like Speedo Cops. All the cops were like wearing Speedos.
We don't have that in New Zealand anymore, really, do we? Like sketch, like proper, like
Yeah.
live sketch, just messing around in
And this
public.
guy
kind of
owned a pet shop, and he was a
Let's
hamster
do it,
man
man.
from
Let's do
Amsterdam.
it.
It's
Alt
such
base.
an
Let's
it's
do it.
such an avenue to
Yeah.
do, right? Because here's the crazy thing.
We love Chappelle's show, man. That's the shit,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Here's the crazy thing, right?
what we
Like
have to do.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, those mediums have completely taken over like that form of entertainment, right? Like no one, like the quickness at which like a YouTuber can churn out a sketch, it can't really be rivaled by like this massive production studio where it's like, you know, a 10 episode series kind of thing. And so the only like real difference is like, I guess the quality and the production quality.
Yeah.
But it's so, I mean, God damn, like kids, like my brother, he's 19, 18, right? Like
How old are you?
I'm 26. So like his whole generation gets like
Oh, young.
90% of their entertainment from like TikTok, Instagram, right? Like TV shows, it's just not even like when's the last time you met somebody who just like watched TV without having like a Netflix, Neon, Hulu, something like that? Like I don't
Grandma's.
right, 100%, right? Yeah. And it's just it's them. That's it. It's such a medium that's like quickly dying out. And yeah, I don't know where it's really going, but yeah, the quickness at which independent producers can produce stuff now has never been a better time, I don't think, for comedy, like excluding COVID, obviously. But like the ability to like
COVID's
reach.
not really funny at all.
No, COVID's
It will
not.
be,
It was when my
it will
grandma got
be.
it. You know what I'm saying? No, she
It
didn't
will
get
be.
it.
Stephen Colbert did pretty good out of it though.
Stephen Colbert. What did he do? Oh yeah, he was out of his room or something like that with his kids.
He did some terrible monologue to begin with, but he really ended up finding his path.
You a fan of Colbert?
Not usually.
Yeah, me neither.
But he was
I was about to go to war with you about this.
Oh, no, he was hilarious the whole way through, and then he went back to being boring again when he went back to the studio. Sorry, carry on. Though.
Super woke. Well, I think like now's never been a better time to be a comedian. I think like first of all, your like ability to like reach people on like a mass scale without having like a production studio behind you is so unrivaled. You know, like in New Zealand, you can just if you just active on TikTok, Instagram, you can reach an audience and then just build a tour off of that. Like no problem. It's amazing. You know, but on the flip side, like it's more I think about like churning out the content rather than like curating. Like quality material, like relevancy. But there are some exceptions, right? Like I guess content is king, but it's like the quantity. Is it quantity over quality? I don't know, right? Like typically you'd be like quality rules, right?
Well, nowadays there's a system operating with the algorithm that quantity really pays off,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
But that will never replace quality. I think they have to walk together.
Yes.
I would say so.
I agree.
But I get what you mean. So like my question there is like, do you prepare to throw fresh material? Because it's a bit of a risky game, isn't it?
It depends. So like with my material, I reckon, so it really depends on the show, right? Like, so in Auckland, you have like a bunch of open mics. Then you've got the Classic, which is like the central hub of, pretty much New Zealand comedy to a certain degree. It's like the barometer for where you sit within the New Zealand comedy scene. So you do your open mics. There's usually shows that you can do out of town. You know, you can tour a tiny bit, and it's quite hard to get stage time. So you do shows around. You go to Christchurch, you go to Wellington, you just do all that jazz, and then you try and climb the ranks within the classic. And then your material, typically for me, like I just try and do my best material at the classic because that's kind of like the ladder that you're essentially trying to climb per se. Yep. And then the open mics, you're just testing new material, right? And I mean, ideally you're writing as much as you can. But like right now, I feel like the stage that I'm in when it comes to comedy is that weird stage where it's like, you almost have to make that leap of faith where you're making no money with comedy, but you're dedicating all your time, and you have to be able to be like, all right, do I have enough money saved up to dedicate all my time to doing this art form for a period of time, right? And it's like, do you have enough, I guess, like fuel, money to support you while you're doing comedy to get to that then next stage where you can then start sustaining yourself. And like, obviously New Zealand, small country, which is great though, because it circles back to the government funding, which is like, you have money that can actually support you and allow you to do that. But when it comes to like making a sustainable income, it's, I think and keep in mind, like I'm not really in the TV world. So I'm not too familiar with what it's like there, but like the money is by no means like, you're not like saving, I don't think. From what I understand, maybe I'm talking out of my ass here, but that's why you see a lot of comedians, I think, go overseas, go to Australia. Australia's like a huge avenue for that, you know, and Australia's sick. Like,
do you want to pursue that? Are you on that mission?
I reckon, like, not necessarily, like, my family's in New Zealand, like, my home's New Zealand, so it's like, it always comes back to like that. Yeah. I'm just pandering right now. No,
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to the family issues that leads you to be a comedian. We're getting there. Hold on.
So like, I reckon like with these like definitely avenues for like, you know, going overseas, Australia. I would love, one of my dreams is like do a little like tour of Southeast Asia. That'd be sick. There's like a great circuit in Southeast Asia, like Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, like so much. Rich, more like.
We can do a show, man. So we can do a show while you go, you know? Like we keep thinking about that. We want to cover artists going to places because then you do the show, you sell the show.
How cool would that be? Like it's a vlog style travel channel where like, do you know what I thought would be sick, right? I had this idea and me and my buddy, we felt the exact same thing. How cool would it be? Is
Strike one.
Yeah. What, for knocking this?
3 years out.
He wanted to do this thing where he travels South America, tries to learn the language in Spanish, and the very end of the tour, you do a show fully in Spanish, and you document the whole thing. You're doing like open mics, you're trialing stuff.
So you're gonna do that in Southeast Asia?
No, God no. Yeah,
7 different languages.
Yeah, 7 different languages, and then just end up doing it in English anyway. Like fuck it. You know? I can speak Spanish, not crazy well, but like relatively well. So yeah, I reckon that'd be so cool. I think just to like have like a video, like almost like a mini documentary.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't the language though? Do the jokes translate?
It's a good question.
Like
man.
when they,
do you think Leo and Taylor are funny? Obviously, it doesn't translate.
Yeah, man, this guy ain't laughing at shit over here, man. So like,
yeah, he's on his phone.
But he's laughing at that sort of like universal humor. You know what I mean? As opposed to like your.
That's why that guy on TikTok is huge. Instagram, the black dude that just he copies the funny videos. He doesn't.
That guy.
Super.
Really,
what's his name again?
Love him. He doesn't say a word.
Or something.
I liked a video today. I'll remember. It was so good.
Hater.
That's the quantity over quality, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, he's playing the game, right?
He was a meme to begin with, is what it appeared to be, and then it was like, now you're doing it with everything. All right, we get it.
What's his name? Quali or something like that?
Kali? But I don't remember. I won't find it.
He has a Gavin Hughes.
We'll find out.
That guy.
Is it at Gavin.Hughes? I think that's a good question though, dude, because like comedy relies so much on like just like wording and language and the placement of words. So you'd have to have such an in-depth understanding of like one, the language, but also like the culture, right? Like I'm sure in Brazil, never been, but like is there like northern comedies different from southern comedy?
Yeah.
Right?
It
like
can be, yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of the established guys, let's say, they play it cool. They talk the language that everybody can laugh at.
What's that look like? Is that just like a more normal dialect or different accent? Or
I think they just try to like not use these slangs because man, Brazil 26 states, you know, like so there are specific slangs and words for each region, but you can still just speak the plain Portuguese, you know, like, and
Yeah.
a lot of these guys, they play a lot with characters. So the big guys in Brazil, if they're not doing stand up, they're doing like the personification of a stereotype from
Right.
Brazil. So you can do that forever.
That'll age well. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But,
Timeless comedy,
but
as my
man,
granddad would
but
say.
it, but it is, but it is, you know, like it's a big thing, and the country also like makes weird things normal because it's huge. It's 200 million people,
Yeah.
you know, like, and there's misery and there's a lot of poverty and there's poor education. So like a lot of humor there sometimes is not that funny, but it reaches the mass,
Yeah.
you know? So like there's a lot of cool stand-up comedians really like trying to praise the thing of like, oh, you can be funny talking about anything without going hard on people, you know, like I love, you know, George Carlin, right?
Yeah.
So I love his well,
You didn't know who George Carlin
George
was?
Carlin.
I'm trying my
Like,
jokes.
get
I'm,
the fuck
I'm
out of
trying
here.
jokes here
Sorry,
with a
no,
comedian,
is he-
man. I'm trying
is
jokes.
he a
Let me
chef?
try. Let me try.
Yeah.
So man, he's got that take on saying that like it's fine to make fun of people, but like why would you make fun of minorities if they're already so in the shit, you know, like when there's so much potential to laugh at people who are oppressing us, you know, like so I love that perspective, you know, like you can I defend comedians, man, to the end, you know, like, man, make the joke, laugh about life, laugh about yourself first, and then you can laugh about anything, but like you don't have to go hard on minorities, you know, like it's the same with swearing. I think swearing is beautiful, but like there's the right time for it for comedians, you know, otherwise it's just an easy laugh that you get, you know, like even to place some swearings, like there's magic in it, right?
Yeah, you got to use it sparingly, right? Like it punctuates a joke
Yes.
half the time, and if you use it too much, it like loses its like spice kind of thing.
Have you did you say that
Have
you
I sworn before?
yeah. Is
I've
that your
said poo
thing?
a few times.
Yeah?
You know,
You said you insulted some. No, you got insulted once, right? Or a couple. Or it happened.
like
Was it because you went hard on a subject that maybe was not or not?
no, I've never like been super like crazy edgy, mainly because I'm just like a sissy. But like, I reckon like.
Didn't see that.
I told you, man, we're gonna try jokes the whole night.
guy
You're
coming out of the
professional.
left field.
It's just like, you've basically got a heckler sitting across from you for the next like, hour and a half.
All
You
right,
just
yo,
have to
fuck,
deal with
dude.
it. Yeah.
No, I reckon like I can swear, right? I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah.
Okay, go. But no, I haven't had any like crazy ass interactions like that. Like, never been like had a bottle thrown at me or something like that. I think the audience in New Zealand, for the most part, it's like very respectful, very tame, not crazy rowdy. Like if they don't like it, they. It's part of the culture, right? Like it's not like super like, you know, we'll just not go again rather than like, you know, not confrontational is probably like a better way to like describe it.
So you never had a huge black dude with
They don't come to my
very
shows.
insecure, coming from a highly toxic marriage, come up and slap you on the stage?
Nah. I wish, bro. I wish. Everyone I know has toxic marriages, but I'll tell you what, the worst show I ever did in my life was on the Blue Bridge Ferry. I did a gig on the Blue Bridge Ferry. Shout out to the Blue Bridge Ferry. They gave me like free passage, saved $60, $150 in therapy. But get on the ferry, right? And we're supposed to perform for like free passage. And we're on the boat. We're setting up, and like it's a crap ferry. You know what I mean? Like for people, you know, who can't swim. And we get in, and the audience is like. So 99 tickets for the boat were sold, right? So we're going to perform to maybe like 20 or 30. So we get on, about 70 pensioners come on. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like I can probably perform to these guys. No big deal. Then after that, 20 fully patched Mongrel Mob members come. I swear to God, I don't have any material that like hits both these groups at the same time. So we get this is
Well, the old people are racist.
yeah,
You
right.
can start with like all old people are racist.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Don't you
start
hate
with
the
that.
other side of the room, guys? Let's go with some common ground here, right? We hate each other. There we go. That's the thing. I was fucking nut. I was screwed. So I was like, all right, gonna be performing in this room. And so we've got four Mongrel Mob members and about like 15 pensioners in this room. My buddy jumps up. He's supposed to do 20 minutes. He gets sick because of the motion, goes to throw up in the bathroom. Swear to God. So I wasn't supposed to be on next, but he just goes, I'm going to bring Gavin up. So I come up. I'm supposed to do 20 minutes as well. I bomb so hard. Like I get no laughs for like 20. I did 10 minutes. No laughs for 10 minutes. On the final joke, I go, this old lady sitting there for. I'm like, ma'am, did you understand that last joke or like anything I've said? And she goes, could I please order some food? And then only applause I got that whole show. It was a nightmare, dude. And the worst part was we still had 3 hours of the boat journey to do after I'd bombed in front of everybody. And so I'm like, where do I hide? I gotta hide somewhere. It was awful, man. It was weird that the mongrel mob was like on the Blue Bridge Ferry, you know, that's the rival color of their gang, you know, the National Party. But no, it was abysmal. That was the worst show I've ever done, but never been like. They were actually really nice guys. After the show, we started talking to them, and they were like, a bit of pity chat, but it was good.
So they say it's good to bomb though, right? You learn.
Yeah, you learn more from a bomb than you do like a kill.
Rogan,
Yeah.
It's always good to like. Fail. It's always good to fail, even though you
It's
get to
so
sleep
good
in.
when you bomb.
Yeah.
Like,
I go to bed in my $100 million
yeah.
Scrooge McDuck swimming
Yeah.
pool of
Dude.
money. Yeah.
I reckon like it is good to bomb from a learning center, but you just gotta like pace yourself when it comes to like your mental health. Like it can really take a. That's why like for this show that we got coming up tomorrow night.
Where?
So in Monkey House Theater, which is gonna be sick. Tickets online, $15. We're gonna see you guys there, right?
Yes. 2 shows, right?
2 shows, one at 6:30, one at 8. We're gonna see like we've sold tickets to both, so it's gonna be sick. I reckon. Come to the 8 o'clock one if you want to see like a bit more of a looser kind of show, a bit more goofy, might go a bit longer. Come to the first one at 6:30 at 7:30. That's gonna be sick. But I'll tell you what, like I need like traveling for comedy, like I need to bring somebody with me. Like I have to, because it's just like so mentally draining. If you do a great show, you do a bad show, it's like, oh my God, it gets so lonely. You know what I mean? And there's something like if you both bomb, there's nothing worse than you bombing and your friend doing really well though. That shit sucks, man.
You've been there for sure.
Oh yeah. My friends have been there too when I kill. No, I have definitely been there, and it can ruin your week, especially if that's like the only show that you have going on the week. It'll just put you in such a bad mood. But 100%, like that's why this next show got 2 of my mates coming down, doing the show with me, and then one other friend as well. So it's just like, it becomes a fun occasion as well. All tax deductible, might I say. So yeah. So. Yeah.
Is it your first trip to the Coromandel?
First trip doing comedy. Second trip in general. I want to come back. I want to do like a show in Coromandel itself. I want to like Coromandel town. I want to do a show in Thames, I think, which would be sick. There's just a bunch of little pockets. Like there's so.
Have you been to Thames?
Yes.
I just wondering. It's all right.
What do you think about Thames?
I love to put the places down, man.
I do.
What? Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I
a negative
know.
Nancy. What do you want from me?
I don't know.
What's your thoughts on Thames?
Oh, no, I was actually born in Thames, but
Sorry, that was me.
yeah, it's a bit of a sort of different.
You were born in Thames?
Vibe. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and then we went to the West Coast and then came back here.
What happened?
That's exactly what happened. Thames happened. No, I won't diss Thames too much because we've probably got some Thames listeners, and they're probably just like, oh, fuck that guy.
I think everyone's saying that
is
anyway,
great.
bro. Like,
Are they? Oh, come on.
I'm saying it.
I hope you bomb tomorrow.
I will.
But you're living in Wellington, is that
Live in
right?
Auckland. So
you were in Wellington?
I was in Wellington. So back and forth. My girlfriend's there. You asked me about my girlfriend.
I'm waiting to go back there.
Full
okay.
circle, man. Yeah,
Yes,
she's
yes.
hot. She's cool. She's
Aw,
funny.
bless you,
She's
man.
smart.
Good on ya.
Shout out Melina. I'm not gonna say her last name. Say her address
So
as
let's
well.
Let's go on your Instagram and look through till we find.
I don't think I've posted anything like we've only been dating for like 4 months, so it's not like posting up anything like that.
Is she
Look at who
younger
you're
than you?
friends with.
Hey,
Sorry.
say,
No.
what did you say, bro? No, go on.
Oh no, I'm just talking.
Is she
garbage.
younger than you?
She's 1 year younger than me.
1 year.
Yeah. You got a girlfriend? You married?
No, I'm not.
You're
man.
single, man.
I am single.
Damn.
I know,
okay.
right?
Are you looking? Are you dating? What is Fitianga
I got
Tinder
eyes,
like?
brother. I got eyes.
Yeah,
I'm
how-
always paying attention.
How many people live in Fitianga?
5,000 in Fitzyounger.
So like, surely you've like
I think
met.
it's like double that, isn't it?
Maybe I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was.
He's
think
thinking
it's-
about the woman.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
It's 5,000.
Yeah.
What like? Surely you've like. How long have you lived in Fitianga for?
for 8 years.
Okay, so surely you've like met like every single
I've
There's a lot of
single
people.
woman, right? Like in Findianga.
I've met people. I've
Okay.
met people for sure. Well, I'm not on Tinder anymore.
Right.
I
I mean, I feel like it'd be
use-
one swipe and you're done in 15.
Man, yeah, like you rotated the same two girls. Nah, man, it was the thing for me.
This guy.
It was never my thing. Like the online thing, never made much sense to me because I'm actually okay with approaching people. Like it's not a problem for me. Like
It's
I
just,
understand.
it is for them.
I know, right?
When they
Yes,
leave.
I'm very careful, Like I have a look without trying to be creepy first. But I understand that it's a great tool. So like in the area, I think there was always a rotation on Tinder when I
Yeah.
was here. And now that there's more traveling happening, that was the thing with Fitsianga. The beauty about the place is like when it's the season, when it's hot, man, you get people from all over the world. Not
Yeah.
recently, but like it's a beautiful place to meet different people.
Course.
And then you learn to look after yourself and meditate during winter.
Yeah. How old are you, dude? If you want me to ask.
I'm 33.
Are you looking for somebody? Are you looking?
I don't know. Every time that I look for something, it becomes
you matchmaker.
man. Like
Yeah, my grandma would love you, bro. You 33, you old.
Hey, what's her name?
I ain't saying all that.
Be careful, man. I had my time. Sorry, I'm trying jokes. I have a comedian here in the show tonight. So if I don't try my materials,
Well, one of us has got to be funny.
I know, right? Man,
It ain't you.
man,
So mean.
I have the thing. I try not to worry about those things anymore. Like if I'm looking, then it becomes a worry.
Yeah.
Then I'm spending too much energy into it. So like I'm just trying to get into a flow that things like come my way, and then when I feel like I should go for them, I
Yeah.
go for them. But
Just be open.
yeah, and there's not much of a point as well. Like it's a small place, like it's not like a city that you go out and you see different hubs, different people all the time. So like you wanna keep it to yourself, and then when interesting things happen, when new people are around, like I just praise those new connections, But like, no, I don't have the thing. Oh, I'm gonna get married, gonna have children.
You
I
just
think
let it, yeah.
it's just too much pressure, man. I think it's a fucked up society that we live in. Like that you have this thing of like, oh, you're getting old, especially for women. Oh, you're getting old.
Yeah, a lot of
you need
pressure
to
on
be, You need to
women,
be
for
a
sure.
mother before your body can put up. And then they pick like pricks, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that very clear in my mind, like if I put pressure on myself, I'm fucked.
Mm.
I'm full of wrong choices in my life. So like I'm just paying attention to not make them.
Have you got your eye on anybody?
Right now?
Yeah,
Not really. Have you got someone to introduce me? Do you want to
No,
tell
I
Melinda
don't
if
know
she's got a
anybody in
friend? A
Fitzgerald.
comedian would be great, man.
Yeah, you
I
like to
would
date a
love,
comedian?
I would love to date a comedian, man.
Man,
Because I'm not funny. So
Amy Schumer.
yeah, you want to do?
Who? Amy Schumer.
Be two unfunny
Amy
people at
Schumer?
once.
I think she's funny.
that was him. That was him.
Hey, man.
The MP is married and she's a politician, so she won't be funny, eh?
Wait, which one? You talking about
The
guy-
one that we put the.
Who knows, man? She could be hilarious.
She could be.
You
But
know?
she's married, eh?
She's married. Yeah.
Married to a comedian.
Yeah.
Ah, got it.
Probably
Yeah.
got some, probably get some joke feedback, back and forth.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. But nah, man. Nah. If it happens, it happens, and I'm
And you're open to
I'm
it?
ready.
All right, I like it.
But,
And this guy, you're married, right?
Oh, I am married,
How
yeah.
long you been married for?
I've been married for 7 years. Yeah.
he was counting, so the cell phone
I
doesn't
was-
ring again.
No, I was thinking how old my oldest son is because I work it out from there. Yeah,
Right,
been married for 7 years.
Cool. How
Yeah.
old's your son?
He's 17, so it's not hurt. No. No, we've been together for 15 years.
15 years. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Wait, so like what motivated after being together for like 8 years to go for like the marriage route? Was it just age? You were just ready? You were feeling it? Or?
Yeah, just ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think,
Nice.
because I've actually. Oh, the other people don't know this, but
That was
I mean,
romantic, eh?
Yeah.
yeah, I've been married before that. I've been married twice.
Yeah.
And this second time, I was a little bit more off marriage because I was like,
bit jaded.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, whatever, marriage, it's marriage. You so you can just end
Yeah.
it like that, right? Well, you got to be like 2 or 3 years or whatever, like apart, and then you get divorced. But yeah, so I was sort of like just like, oh yeah, whatever. But then it was like, oh, I love her, better get married.
Aww.
So we did, yeah. And it was cool. It was really cool because the kids,
nice.
because the kids were able to be there as well.
That's good.
So like, because they were growing up and they saw us get married, so that was pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
makes
sweet.
me believe in the institution when I listen to things like that. See,
Yeah.
I asked you about the institution, man.
You've got to have love though. You know.
Gotta have love.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah. What do I think about marriage? You asked me if I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like
Are your parents together?
my parents are together. Yeah. Mom, second marriage, but with the guy that's my father. Been together my whole life, which is rare now, right? I think they're coming on like
It's rare.
what is it? Well, I'm 26. They're like 29 years of marriage together,
Hey.
right? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about the institution of marriage because it feels like legally speaking, right? Like if you live with somebody for like a period of time, almost all the bonds of marriage come with that
Yeah.
anyway. Do you
De
know what I mean?
facto, yes.
Yeah, de facto married, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, whatever, right? But yeah, I don't know. It is weird. I think there's probably like more pressure. It's more like societal pressure to be like, hey, we are married together. But like I like saying partner, like this is my partner, like that's
Yeah.
and I'm not like ragging on you for getting married at all. Like I could definitely see like, but like I don't know. What do you think? You got opinions on marriage, I can tell.
No, man. I unfortunately we have to rely on contracts for everything. That's
You
the
made me sign one before I
I
started, by
did.
the way.
I did.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
even read.
I know. Are we getting married?
You will find out when you leave.
Yo, fantastic, man. You can get
Your
half of my student
Your
loan.
car might not even be there anymore.
I'll take your car. I'll take half
I
this
think
equipment.
a lot of people look at it as a contract though, but it's more of a declaration, right?
Right.
Like we've turned it into this contract. The
When it
governments
when
have
it comes
turned
to an
into a
end, you
contract.
tell me if it's a declaration or a contract,
It's
bro.
not- it's
You
not
let me know.
gonna-
You let me know. You
It's
let
not
me know.
going
when
to
it's done.
come to an end. Although she'll probably die.
I didn't mean yours. I meant like all
Let's
of
ask
them.
her. Let's ask her.
But like, I feel that the whole marriage thing is like it's very good for children, right?
What, getting married
When they
to
get
kids?
married.
No,
When
no,
you
no.
marry a
You want to
kid.
marry a kid?
No,
Yeah.
no. Like,
I mean, I guess.
it encourages the parents to stay together, like for the children, because they
But what about the mental health?
of who?
If they don't want to be together, but they stay together for
Oh
the kids.
no! I'm not saying that they should stay together for the kids.
I'll
I'm
tell
saying
you
that
what,
they
though.
might try to resolve their issues because
for
they
sure.
are married.
But that's being mature. You don't have to be married to
But
do
it
that.
encourages it.
I
It
think-
might encourage it.
I agree with you, bro. Because my parents were the exact same. Like I know for a fact that like my parents stayed together for the kids for a period of time. Bumpy, like real bumpy. I didn't see it obviously, but then like as I'm 26 now,
That's cool.
you look back and it's like they're still together to this day though. You know what I mean? It was the kids that kept them together. So who am I to say like
That's right.
But if they weren't married,
They would've split.
They might have just gone, "Fuck it, I can just walk out and it's nothing."
you know what I think it would have been, bro? I think it would have been
Maybe.
if they didn't have kids. But you're probably right with other situations, right? But like my parents, like my mom mainly, like it was for the family unit for the kids, like wanting to keep the unit together and like value that like so much. Like I think I'm much more level headed than I would have been otherwise. If that wasn't the case.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm all good. I love it. My parents are together for 44 years and
44
they
years.
work together and they do all the things together. So like I'm all good with people getting together and spending a life together, like and arguing when you have to and then making peace and being all good. But like I just find like if you go back in history, you don't have to go back that much to get that part when they connected marriage with love. Because before it was because of like agriculture thing, like that we had the farms and then men
I
were
don't think
like-
that's necessarily true.
but that's how the idea of getting together started. Like marriage was like an arrangement and in a lot of countries it still is. Like you get
But
arranged.
poor people without farms, even probably 5,000 years ago, probably still got married for love.
Yeah. But there's always an interest in that. So like usually the families put them together so they can have a boy to carry on whatever it's happening. But then romanticism or like whatever happened with making love part of that. And that's the only thing that I'm kind of like I'm a bit because I think sometimes it changes the feeling. Love is beautiful, like and then suddenly you have all these contracts and conditions and like what's mine is mine, it's yours, like and all those things. Like I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I feel like
I don't know, man. Like because what you're talking about is people who actually have stuff, and most people through
Yeah.
history didn't have stuff, right? That you're talking about like aristocracy would marry and wealthy people
But that's where it comes
would
from,
marry their
right?
children off. But there
Yeah.
was still, that might have only been 0.1% of the population.
Yeah, but that's
There's
where it
still
comes from.
99.9% of the population get married with no shit.
But it comes because
for
of them.
love.
But it's because of them that it becomes a thing, and then it suddenly becomes a contract for everybody if you have something or not, because the rich people had it. So I don't know.
Isn't there like that tribe somewhere in like Guinea or something like New Guinea where they have like super polyamorous relationships? Like marriage is very much like a religious idea, obviously, right? And like there's very open relationships when it comes to, so like I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, sorry, but like what I was saying, I'm thinking like I agree with you, like marriage probably came down from like a formal structure, but I think yeah, it's only formal when there's something to be like discussed and divided up, right? And so I reckon it came down, but probably more so within like, you know, the working class, it was 100% to do with love. You know, maybe more so. I don't know. I'm thinking more like the quasi like diplomatic ties between families and stuff like that as well, though, right? There's probably like a bunch of
but
soft.
that's going to be such a small percentage of the marriages that exist, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you look at it and like
They didn't own houses like we own houses and property here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like in our world now, it's like everyone owns it, like stuff to be divided up.
Sure.
You know, like, and it's.
So you reckon the contract factor has become more relevant now with more ownership of stuff?
I think that we shouldn't concentrate on the contract factor.
Yeah.
That's that a lot of people who, I'm not saying you, but like a lot of people are like going, I don't need to get married because it's just a bloody contract.
Yeah.
It's just a contract, mate. You know, the government and the religions make up this contract, and it's just what I need to tell God that I'm married to this person. And it's like, no, you need to tell that person that you're married to that person.
Why don't
you
you
can-
say,
you can
hey,
only do
babe,
that?
I love you.
Yeah, you can
No,
only
but
do
you
that
live
through
with
the
me?
constructs of a marriage.
Cool.
Because you don't get to decide what other people want to do.
That's why you ask. You
No,
ask.
but like if
love
I
you.
want
Do
to
you
get
wanna live?
married, I think that's perfectly fine.
Absolutely, but I
for
never
sure.
said it was
I just
not.
come across a lot of people though who are
No.
like, oh, fuck marriage because it's just a stupid.
I never
contract
said
thing.
fuck marriage.
Oh no, I'm not saying. Well, I was
Yeah.
kind of saying you did.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I'm gonna
it's
be
all
honest.
good. No. It's man. I just
I think it's great. I try and
all
encourage my
good.
friends to get married, and none of them want to get married. But
wow.
really,
Really?
yeah.
Good on you, man.
Because I'm just like, it's nice to say this is my
If
wife.
if you find
Yeah, I think
if,
that's a pretty cool feeling. I'll
if
agree
you
with that. Not that I've ever
find
had
if you
it.
find someone who is really worth it, that you should go hard. I agree 100%. I agree.
I think it just shows commitment. That's what I feel.
I agree. Yeah.
If you never say that this person is your wife, which is the social norm it was the social norm of longevity of a relationship. You know, maybe a lot of people don't have so much interest in it anymore because so many people just get divorced anyway.
Yeah, I think that's my perspective on the thing. You know, like when like a good friend of mine broke up and then he was sad and he said, I broke up, been together for 10 years. And then I said, congratulations. I think I was the only person who said congratulations. You know, like he made a move that was annoying him. It was getting into his mental health. The relationship was not the same anymore. And I'm like, you made a good move at a good age. That like you're gonna have time to meet new people, you know, like you're being honest with the person. And a lot of people don't do that. They're kind of like, nah, I'm gonna roll with the punches and I'm gonna be together because it's gonna be fine. And then that's what I'm not
Did they
saying
do
that
any
it's
couples counselling or anything like that?
maybe.
Because
I'm just curious.
I wonder where that
A lot of
balance
people
is,
don't.
right?
They just go,
They're just like,
she's
fuck it,
pissing
I'm
me
done.
off now. I'm out of here.
Yeah, but like different people, right? That's why I said like I don't generalize. Like I don't oppose relationships at all. Like I'm not the kind of hey, I'm doing my thing. Like if it's the right time with the right person, it's all good. But
Yeah.
what I'm learning is kind of like when it's time to end, it's time to end, and it shouldn't be a dilemma. But then with a marriage, you have a zillion contracts and conditions that put you in that thing, and you cannot just say, "Hey, babe, you know what? You know, maybe it's not happening anymore." And then you're like, "Oh yeah, all good. How are we gonna do this?" It's never like that.
That's
it's
not
like
because of-
war. Now
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
done. Now we're gonna split up everything and the kids.
So
say
say you weren't married though,
becomes
how would that go?
I'm sorry,
If you weren't married though, how would that go?
but then it's a structural thing. Yeah,
it's still war, right?
Society,
if the people are like that inclined.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Like it really depends on the
My
individual,
last
right?
marriage, so get this. I've been divorced.
More
I'm married-
material for you.
I've
Yeah,
been
right.
married and
This guy's
divorced.
divorced.
I've been married and divorced, and my divorce just went,
Another
okay, I want the stereo and my ute, which I'm paying off,
Yeah.
and you can have everything else.
That is it. What if you wanted more though?
And there was.
What if you wanted like a fair half?
Then you just get a fair half. That's what.
You get lawyers involved though, wouldn't you?
Do you have to?
I mean, if she was like, no.
Well, it should be well within her rights to say that, but it should be wrong. And I'd take my half.
Which like then you go to war though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, we don't have to go to war. Like I think
Assuming
a lot of
both parties are like, yo.
I think a lot of people watch. Like Hollywood, you know, and for one, America's a little bit different, right? So like in New Zealand, you've got to be broken up. I think for like it's either 2 or 3 years before you can get a divorce.
Is that right? I thought it was a year. Okay.
Yeah, well, when I got divorced, it was.
Yeah,
it was. I think it was 2 or 3, and it was like, because I was like, I want to get a divorce, and then it was like, because I'd been with her for years, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like, have you signed this thing that says you've been broken up? And I was like, nah, damn it. So you had to like wait. But I
want to avoid that. Too.
I looked down on that. I looked down on that at the time, but then in more recent times, I thought that would actually give the couple time to calm down, ease their shit. Okay, we've broken up, we've split up, everything like that, and then they might go, oh, actually, I really like that person, and maybe we could go and get some counselling.
That's fair.
And we
Yeah,
could
there's
get them
some
together.
calm down
Great.
time.
And you're
I
not,
agree.
and you're not already divorced, and all your
100%.
shit split up.
Right,
You know what
right.
I
Like,
mean?
what a nightmare to have to get remarried again after all that. You know, I
Right.
mean,
By the time that Homer got remarried to Marge, remember he divorced her just
Is
so he
that
could
right?
remarry her?
Really? Great. Let's bring him to the show, man.
Yo, how good.
No, Homer
that be?
Simpson.
Homer Simpson, did you say?
Yeah.
Who are you
Shit.
thinking?
I don't know. It's too
Another
fast
guy.
sometimes, too much English. Have you ever needed a lawyer?
Never needed a lawyer. God, I never even.
So it's going to be after
spoken.
this show.
Yeah, maybe. No, have you ever needed a lawyer?
Not to get me out of trouble.
Yeah, to get you into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes they can make things worse. But not
To start this, probably though, eh?
To start
did you have
this?
to get a lawyer to start this?
Surely.
It was through the account,
yeah.
thing. Yeah, so actually,
Yeah, and I've never needed one. I never. Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, you know,
they cost, hey.
so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my buddy's dad's a lawyer, and it's like $700.
He's
like
rich.
Crazy.
That's why marriage is a good business.
Yeah,
Divorce
yeah.
lawyers, crack.
Divorce. There's a documentary on that, like this Ferrari driving divorce lawyer who just drives around with a Ferrari and just.
I've done work for a
people.
divorce lawyer, and she's just got like 2 houses.
Is that
like,
right?
Like
One for her husband, one for her?
400 meters apart
Right?
in Cook's Beach.
God damn.
it's
What do you
crazy.
reckon's like worst?
Those are holiday houses too. She lives in another town. Shouldn't say actually.
Yeah, maybe. What's exact address? Man, we're giving out addresses everywhere. I've done
I
it.
know, right?
Yeah.
Tonight's the night. Now you
Should
sure?
I? Nah.
Man, when did you come up with the thing? Like, man, I'm gonna make money talking funny stuff to people.
I've never come up with that idea. I'll just talk funny stuff. Money never.
Great.
Yeah, I reckon like the first time I wanted to do stand up would have been 2018 September 28th. Was my first set, and this was when I was like in the midst of like a really tough time with my ex. And she's like, because I lived in Melbourne for a bit, right? So I met my girlfriend when I was working, my ex-girlfriend, sorry, when I was working in Melbourne. And she was always telling me, oh, you should just give stand-up comedy a go. It'd be hilarious, just as a goof. So I went back to Wellington because I was going to finish my degree. And my friend was like, you should do it. Like, it would be hilarious. Give it a go. And we went to an open mic. It was terrible. And we were like, I was like, oh, I could probably give this a go.
Were you ready? Or you were just like, I'm just gonna.
I
do
wanted
this.
to pull out. Like I wrote a whole set. It sucked. Like I've got the original video. It's terrible. But I did it.
Is it on YouTube?
Nah, it's on my Instagram. It's on my
your
Instagram.
Instagram.
You can find it on my Instagram. It's like if you scroll down a tiny bit, one of the first videos I ever posted.
Good on you. You left it there.
I left it there, man. I ain't afraid. And I posted it. It was awful, but like I packed the room with my friends, which I don't know. I was like, I know these guys are going to support me anyway. Everyone come. They came, went okay because they were laughing at everything I said, right? Second time, went okay. Third time, I bombed so hard. It was so bad. And I told the audience, like, just go piss off. Like, just started yelling at the audience about 3 minutes in.
Whoa.
And then I had to go sit back down after my set in the audience afterwards. So I was like, yo, you guys suck. Screw this. I'm going home. And my friend was in the crowd. I was like, I'll just go sit back with my friend. So I was like sitting back next to the person that I just cussed out during my whole set. Oh, it was awful, man. Yeah, it was awful. But it just kept going. Yeah. You ever thought about doing it? Comedy? What about you? You ever thought about it?
That guy over there, man.
This guy, the guy on TikTok right
he
now.
actually had a set ready for a party that we threw, but yeah, it didn't happen, unfortunately.
Is there a party this weekend? After
Do you
the
need
show?
someone to open for you guys tomorrow? There you go, man.
You want to?
See, he's already starting his sets. He forgets the microphone off. He's more of like a character.
This is great, actually.
Kinda
This
thing.
is
Yeah,
Comedians
yeah.
101, no
Oh,
mic.
it's cool, yes.
Anyway, the producer.
Give it up.
Man, the thing is, like, I love this thing with usually the funniest guy is like your uncle or the guy from like when you were at school, you know, and then you think, man, these people will never give it a go to be a comedian, but they would be fantastic.
Hilarious, yeah.
And a lot of the people, like, they're not that funny, but they practice, they do it, and they do it again, and they start to understand how to get to tell a story in a funny way. And that's what that motherfucker is. Like, he's polishing the way that he counts stories.
Just
and
counts in general.
you know, tells. Shit, there you go. The way that he tells it, so
can
yeah,
count to 10
I
now.
got this
It's a
5
riveting
stories.
story.
I got this 5
I had
stories.
1 chicken, 2 pigs.
That's when broken English doesn't translate. You know, it's too funny. So that's the thing. Like, I appreciate people who pay attention to the way that they count a story.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's next time, because we know each other for like 13 years, so I know his stories, but I pay attention how like the adaptation comes to make it funny, and I see that value in comedians. I'm like, man, the guy knows the timing, and the thing of like, he's got that story since he was 12 maybe, but he's thinking,
It's an art
changing,
form, right? One of the first things I learned about comedy is that words that go puh, cuh, and buh are funnier. So if they end or start with those sounds, then that's just one of those small things when it comes to just like learning the minute details of comedy. Like Buick sounds funnier than Toyota. You know?
I'm back.
Hey, yo, man, voice of God over here. God, what's up? What were we talking about?
I
So,
don't even know. It was like 10 years ago.
so my problem is my English is pretty broke. So what is funny, you know, because people will be like, look at the way he's talking, you know. I talk like the Yoda. Sometimes I put like the verb before the, you know, I change it, you know, like. So I prepared myself for like probably a month to do this set because Leo was playing this party that we did, and I was like, I'll be drunk, I'll make it, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I
get
got
hammered.
ready, you know, like, and I was waiting to do it, and Leo never called me to the stage.
Yo,
Never.
dog, man.
It's
Yo,
not
this guy.
that's not the real story, but it's okay.
Well,
It
you know,
wasn't
it is.
funny though. it was my mistake because like we were playing music, and it was actually at the Monkey Theater where you were doing the thing tomorrow. Like they used to hire they still do, but it was different circumstances. So we had a release of 2 video clips in the other room while the band was finishing playing the set. And something happened with one of the computers. And I didn't think that would be the perfect moment to actually put the amplifier for him there. And Taylor was trying to get the computers ready, but then people were kind of like, come on, is it gonna happen or not? So like, we just missed the great timing for the stand-up show. But I feel bad. I get that one.
I like his story more.
I know it, and because it was just bad timing, you know, that I
Coming to this story, I was responsible for the computers. So I had like not many options. I have like the video clip of my girlfriend, and then a video clip of
What?
No, a music video clip. A music
That's
video
how we
clip.
call it.
Yeah, sorry.
Music video clip.
And then I have a music video clip of Leo's band, you know, and they were making the stage, changing the set. So I played the both video clips, and then I have nothing to do, and I had like this room with 100 people looking to the
You actually
screen.
couldn't manage to play
You
our
know,
video
like,
clip.
and
Did
I
you
had
get nervous?
and I was like, fuck, what I gonna do? And I was beside the principal actually of the school, you know, like
Deputy principal,
yeah,
yes.
and
My
he was
boss.
like, man, you need to do something, you know. So I got this box of DVDs that I had, and I bought like The Wall, Pink Floyd, you know, like. And I was like, fuck, I just gonna check this one, and then I put the DVD, and I was like, guys, I don't know which part I'll put. I went to the chapters, and I was like, and it was just numbers. There was just numbers, the chapter. So I didn't know what it was, and it was in front of everybody. So I was like, guys, just choose a number, you know, like, and the dude was like 7, and then I pressed the bottom. It was just Nazi people walking, like.
Yeah, that part of the movie. That is the Nazis. That is true.
And it turns out every video was the Nazi people doing it. It didn't matter what number they chose. It's just the Nazi loop.
Yeah, it was horrible.
So you didn't.
That was a good party.
So
though.
I lost
It was a great
my show,
Wouldn't it
and
have been as good if the DVD didn't play that.
Yeah.
So yes, instead of doing his sets, he played The Wall, and it was not great. But yeah, but you learn, right? And we're planning something bigger for this year, so you know
Nice.
he'll be ready. Yes,
Guys, I need to pee.
do it.
I'm so sorry.
You remember what it is?
Yeah,
eh?
yeah, yeah. I'll be
go.
right back. I'll be too.
So you're bigger than last time's one.
Well, I think we have to now. We have to. That
Like,
party was
are
a
you
big,
going to do the same venue then? Or
Was it the biggest party you ever been, Brett?
Was it the
So-
biggest?
It was. Yeah, I'd say it is. Yeah.
It
How
was-
many people were there? Like, 150 or so.
we invited, I think, 160, 180 people. So I think we had maybe 150, like throughout the nights. Like some people
Yeah.
came at different times.
It was
I
pretty
think
mean.
it
The
was
food
an
was
epic-
mean, and
Epic party, eh?
yeah, that lady who made the smoked mussels. I think
Yeah.
she sold the business now. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
There was like this ice cream container full of
So-
these
so
smoked
Brett,
mussels. I just gorged on them.
Just to bring the topic, because probably people doesn't know when you say there was the biggest party in your life, because of course you wouldn't go to parties because you are from your religion wouldn't allow you to go to parties, right?
Jeez. Yeah, certain
Yeah.
parties. For
So,
sure.
how was the sensation like after you be like probably were like 18 already?
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
How was the sensation for your first party? Like,
It was pretty mean actually. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I went from being like the only parties I'd ever been to were like church, sort of, you know, religious sort of
Ooh.
parties.
Yeah.
With some really bizarre dancing and stuff going on. And then
What is a bizarre dancing from a church party?
Oh, I'd like don't even want to talk about it.
You said.
And then I went to this other party.
Is it like Descarrego? Is it like the exorcism thing?
No, just like chicken dance and like country dancing
Nice.
type style and things, you know.
Ah, the steps.
Yeah,
all
no,
together.
not so much there, but kind of like that, you know.
I'm trying to visualize bizarre in my mind.
It is bizarre. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you're imagining it, times it by 10.
Okay.
And
Great.
yeah, and then I
Shit.
went to my mate. The first proper party I went to my friend Jed's house, and it was his. He locked himself out. It was his. His.
Great, you locked yourself out.
How did I do that?
His little brother's birthday, and they had like 5 bands there, and there was like heaps of people, you know, 50 people, 80 people, whatever, at this house, and it was epic, and that was my first introduction.
So just to put you
was
on
also
this-
your last day in your religion? Or?
it was close to it, yeah.
we went far, man.
I
Very
escalated.
quickly.
Yeah, what happened? You
I
lost your religion? You lost
de-escalated
God?
out of the religion real quick.
Did you eat some of these? What happened, man?
No, I've never done mushrooms.
Yeah, never?
No.
Fair enough.
So Taylor was
Maybe
asking
one day.
Brett what he thought about our party, the one at the Monkey Theater,
Yeah.
because he said it was a mean party.
He
Then
lost God?
No,
that was
no.
gone. It was already
It was
gone.
it was a big party that you all guys won, man.
But you then Taylor asked about his first party, and you were what? How
Yeah, I
old
was
were you?
19. Yeah, at my mate's house, and that was a big party too. Funnily enough, all the parties after that were a whole lot.
Because he wouldn't go to parties before because of his
Yeah.
religion.
Ah.
There
I
you
didn't
go.
even really drink or nothing. You know.
Were you like, what like fundamental Catholic, Presbyterian?
Nah, Jehovah's Witness.
You were a Jehovah's Witness. Damn, man. Right.
You like that?
I mean, no. Damn. I mean, I'm curious about it, though.
Yeah.
Are they big in, like, so this is Raglan, right?
Yeah.
Are they big in Raglan?
Yeah. There was probably at the time when I was a kid, maybe 50
Not a
odd
crowd
people.
for you.
Oh, man, I'd love to do a Joe.
Oh,
It would be
No,
cool,
they-
eh?
Yeah.
Would they go for a gig though?
No,
Would they
man,
go
most
for a
of the
stand-up comedy
most
show?
of the people. Oh,
That'd be
it's
mean.
not really-
That'd be awesome.
I don't see why they wouldn't. I got family who would for sure.
Yeah.
but
Nice.
most of them probably.
It's
wouldn't
not
be into
considered
it.
partying. Sorry, I'm just
Nah,
ignorant
nah.
about
You
it.
wouldn't
No.
drink, though. That's the thing, right? Like,
No, Jehovah's Witnesses drink.
they do.
Yeah,
Mormons
they-
don't, though, right?
Nah.
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Right. So would you do the door knocking thing?
yeah. Man, I was talking about that today, and I was just like, I would have driven myself
Tell us more.
absolutely crazy about it. Like, can you imagine? I mean, you can imagine it because it happens. Like, I can't think of any, like sitting in bed trying to have my coffee, and then like, you know,
Some
me,
dude.
and then I show up, and it's just like, hey,
Name tag.
you know, and yeah, it was. I used to be really into it though. Yeah.
Did you ever
what's
close any
actually-
deals? You ever like get anybody to
Convinced?
God?
Oh nah.
Really?
Does it ever work? I wonder. Like,
You
what's
suck.
like the?
I know.
Yeah, man. It's an easy sell. Salvation.
I was only a
no.
child.
Not even a child. You didn't convince a child to go to the
they saw
church.
right through it.
Yeah. No, I was only a child. I sold the, but well, you didn't sell them.
Yeah, you get them in
yeah,
though, right?
Yeah, you get. Yeah, I got rid of a few books and magazines and stuff in my time though.
Nice, right?
Did you put in the gutter or you actually gave it to people?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you get the paper route where you just chuck all the papers down like a gully somewhere.
Mate, I was honest. I was an honest, true believer.
Yeah, you would be. Go to hell otherwise.
No, Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in hell.
What?
You just smash it out of the ballpark. You're away. Just
So what happens if you don't smash it out of the ballpark? You just go.
You
Like,
just die.
Oh, where do you go?
Nowhere.
That's all good.
Yeah.
That's easy to explain as well.
God.
Sorted.
Yeah, you just die, you go nowhere.
And you didn't
So
convince anyone to go
how
to
many
church? That's
people
very
go to
convincing.
paradise, Brett?
Oh no, you're talking about heaven.
Yeah, how many?
144,000
That's it.
That's it. There's only 144,000 places.
that go to heaven.
But when they die, when they're dead, does he give space to another one in heaven, or they don't die again? So it
No, they don't
recycles?
die again in
It's
heaven.
only those 144 for like for like.
Forever.
How many spaces are left?
Can you buy it?
Yeah,
I don't
man.
know how many. So when I was
Yeah, I feel like the older generation would be
Who
in
knows
the
if they're
real
right?
estate
They
in
might be
heaven.
right, and then you might as well buy a ticket.
no, I don't know how many.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know how many are
I don't
left.
know what I'm talking
But
about.
like Paradise had like unlimited, you know. But unfortunately for you guys don't know any of this. So, yeah, I find it's so there'd be like a Paradise Earth.
Yeah,
So when you die,
we call that
you
Queenstown.
would get resurrected
Yeah.
onto Earth.
Oh, that's all good. Okay.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
So everybody goes to paradise, earth,
Yeah,
but heaven, 144,000.
yeah.
That's why Jehovah's Witnesses are so happy. Like they're like super nice people.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't. Some of them.
real bad.
No,
Are
some
there any
most are real bad. But most of them are. Yes, most of them are happy, nice people. Yeah.
I heard there were cults out on the east coast of New Zealand. Gloryville.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that out here somewhere?
No, isn't it South Island?
I don't
If
know.
you guys don't know, sorry.
I don't know either. But they've got some weird stuff going on there. don't
Yeah,
they?
real weird stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything, to be honest.
Oh, I thought it was South. I don't know.
Is your family religious?
No, not at all. Well, I did go to church when I was younger. We went to like a real new age kind of church.
Your own choice?
Not my choice, my parents' choice. I reckon like when they were young, this is back in Atlanta, we lived like right across the road from a church. It was like, gotta give like that religious structure to a certain degree.
Strike two.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. No, never really got super into religion. I always found it kind of boring, if I'm honest. Like I love doing like sports activities, getting out. I just
There's
found like
no room for
sitting still.
sports when you're a religious person. Is
Yeah,
there?
not my religion. Could you play sports, Jehovah's Witness?
Nah.
Really? What do you reckon? Like the one sport Jehovah's Witnesses would be like disc golf. I reckon they'd be real good at disc golf.
Disc golf?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Ding dong ditching.
I don't even know what's that.
So
Oh,
you
is that when
knock
you
on the
knock
door and like run
That
off.
would be a hilarious sport, wouldn't it?
Imagine like Jehovah's Witnesses ding
That
dong
would be great.
ditching.
You're right. Yeah.
That would be my favorite form of Jehovah's Witness. The ding dong ditching one, like just leave. You know, just do the
Oh, they
dog.
leave the child, or they take the trainees.
That'd be pretty happy though.
You're on your own, kid.
You'd be pretty happy though when you open the door and they were gone.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite
Yeah.
form, dude. It made... So you went to a party and then that made you give up on Jehovah's Witnesses?
Oh no, there's heaps of backstory to all that.
Yeah. Okay.
How long have you got?
But the party
Dude,
helped.
I got nothing going
the
on.
party helped.
It's not very funny,
you
though.
were sure.
It's kind of
We've got a
sad.
comedian here, and you guys are all like,
I'll make
But
it
that's
funny.
his job. He'll make,
I'll
it,
make it funny, man.
"We'll make it funny."
So you got some trauma, huh?
Oh, no,
That's very
What sort of
good.
trauma? No.
It's all good.
no, I just I saw it. I disagreed with some of the things, and then my friends were fun,
Yeah.
so I sort of just went their way. If that makes sense.
Sick.
Mm.
Yeah. All
Went
right.
to went the party route as opposed to the
non-party.
severely non-party route.
Is your family still Jehovah's?
Yeah.
Yeah, still in it? Are you guys like all good now that you've left, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
my mum probably cried for a year when I left, I imagine. But
Sure.
after that, she was all right.
All good. Are they still trying to like wrap you in a tiny bit?
Nah.
or- No.
Nah, they don't even really talk about it.
Oh, that's so chill.
Yeah.
That's like the best exit.
The closest we get to it is
Yeah.
like they say prayer when you eat like dinner
True.
or whatever, and that's it.
What's
Like,
Christmas like?
There is no Christmas with Jehovah's Witnesses.
What do you guys have?
You guys know anything?
I know nothing about
don't know
it. I
either,
know
man.
the
I
door
don't know.
knocking, the ties, and the name tag,
The
bro.
name
Like,
tag is also Mormons.
oh, that's-
Nah, there's no Christmas, so
you got
yeah.
Hanukkah? Is that Hanukkah?
No, it's Jews.
Yeah, I know
We're
that
not going near the Jews. You'll destroy your career.
yes, yeah. Or make it.
Unless you're one. Unless
yeah.
you are one. then
Yes,
it's
no,
okay.
no, I'm not Jewish. Not Jewish. I wish I was. But yeah.
Because
Can
then
you-
you'd be
Why'd you laugh?
Can you joke about anything, bro? You reckon? Yeah. How do you select things? Like, because you think about, well, I think all normal human beings think about crazy
What is
stuff.
the limit of humor?
Yeah,
what are the
well,
limits of humor? I don't know, man. Like, I guess like the audience decides about that. Like, so I was talking about somebody recently. I think comedy, like good comedy, in my mind, is funny first, smart, and then like message second. You know, so like. I think what's happened is it's kind of switched that order. That's three.
Sorry,
I'm out.
bro. Yeah.
I'm out.
Sorry, we don't even know what baseball is in this country. So.
yeah.
This
You've
is
never
like-
been to second base anyway.
This is like 10 strikes. Not then. I don't know what second base is.
What do you reckon? Say, well, I'll go.
We'll go back there. We'll go back there.
But I reckon what's happened recently with comedy's become way more popular, right? So there's a much wider breadth of like what comedy is, right? But I think true comedy is what I said before, which is funny first and then cool message second, right? Or important message or great message or something that's like thought provoking, intelligent, that changes people's minds, but funny first.
So Daniel Tosh has no message. But
Yeah.
It is funny.
So I think it's comedy, though it's comedy. I wouldn't say it's like great comedy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, comedy. But like I think what great comedy is, it hits both those marks. What I think has happened recently is it switched where it goes message first, funny second. And I think there's totally a place for that, right?
Is it like conscious comedy? Do they call it something dumb like that?
I
If
think,
Drake was a comedian?
yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing because I think rap can be comedy, right? Like super smart comedy. Like you listen to some of the lyrics and the words, like that's freaking the lines.
Like,
that's hilarious.
Like Run the Jewels, like
yeah.
LP's hilarious.
yeah,
And
amazing.
then Killer Mike's like
Yeah.
message driven,
For sure, for sure. And so, like, I think what's happened recently is, it's had that switch where, like, you're seeing now, like, people more just trying to push a political agenda or, like, a message and then writing jokes second to that
Right,
to
yes.
try and get that across. And so I think, and I'm not saying that's bad at all. I don't know if it's, like, pure comedy. I don't know if I would define it as, like, straight stand-up comedy. And by no means, I'm not like the gold standard of like what comedy is. Like I'm like, in the early stages of my career. I'm like 4 years in, but like that's just my personal take and totally willing to be proven wrong. But that's just my thoughts on it. And so coming back to what you say, can you joke about anything? Yeah, you can joke about anything you want to. You can. Whether or not you should or whether or not you're going to get some backlash for things, whatever, I think there's a place for everything. There's just going to be consequences for certain things you say, and hey, man, like go like, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't say. Just be willing to, and the consequences aren't really going to come from me. I really don't care. I'm whatever, man. Just make me laugh. To be honest, like if you're funny and you're a good person, that's kind of my two. When it comes to comedy, those are my two priorities. Like,
What comedians make you laugh,
Yeah.
actually real laugh, and which ones make you like, that was great, like
Yeah.
that kind of smart that makes you appreciate
yeah,
the writing thing more than actually the
yeah. All right.
how do you go there?
Shane Gillis. I don't know if you ever heard of Shane
Shane
Gillis.
Gillis?
Shane Gillis, hilarious comedian based out of the States. So funny and like just jokes. No like real ulterior motive to these things.
Character as well, voice and everything, elements of dynamics, volume on a more
Just
style.
straight jokes, man. But like, if you
jokes.
want to go for like real refined style and stuff like that, Sam Morril, up and coming, like established, up and coming, Mark Norman. But like, if I'm going for like straight up laughs, I'm a big fan of just like sketch comedy when it comes to like YouTube. Big fan of this comedian called Tim Dillon, who a lot of people hate. But yeah, I think he's super funny. Ronnie Chang, I'm a big fan of Ronnie Chang. Ronnie Chang's comedy is real good too. I mean, just there's such a wide range when it comes to like that real like refined form of stand up though. Mark Norman and Stan McDonald, Norm Macdonald as well, one of my all-time favorites. You guys know Norm Macdonald?
No.
Oh man,
You should. Yeah.
I don't know anyone what you're saying.
God,
I know Tim Dillon.
Tim Dillon,
Tim
yeah,
Dillon.
big fan of
Do
Tim
you
Dillon.
know? Are they all white people that you're saying?
Yeah.
Oof.
But that has nothing to do with it. I mean,
I'm just
goddamn.
curious. You don't like Dave Chappelle?
I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of Dave Chappelle. I wouldn't put him as like my favorite form of stand-up comedy. You know what I mean? Ronnie Chang's not white, Asian. Have you know?
Asian's not white.
I don't. Maybe in this guy's book, I don't know. We're all going to hell
think
according
so.
to you.
Yeah.
So,
There's no hell, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah. We're all going to
Just die.
paradise.
Yeah.
144,000.
No, now you're making me feel like a bigot all of a sudden for
Yeah,
my
well,
preference of
Can't
comedians.
help it. I don't
That's
think you
his
feel
job.
like one. I think you are one.
That's his job.
Yeah, no, I think
No, you're good.
a big fan of Dave Chappelle. I like his sketches, like his old school.
I only bring him up because he's like the biggest comedian at the moment, right?
Yeah, and this I like his older stuff. I'm not a huge fan of his newer stuff. I just felt like he was hanging like around Joe Rogan's crowd a bit too much, where it was just like dipshit comments. I'm just like, this is just like not fun. I like his anecdotes. I'm a big fan of like storytellers.
Their sketches are his were hilarious, weren't they?
For sure, yeah. And like, there's
Like
a great
the black KKK guy.
hilarious, yeah,
Like,
Bigsby, Carl
You can
Bigsby.
just laugh and laugh and laugh.
I love his like Prince ones too, man. Those are hilarious. There's another guy, the special just released, Earthquake special, which is hilarious. Just he was on Netflix recently, 30-minute special, amazing. You know, Patrice O'Neill, hilarious as well. Big fan of Patrice. Yeah, man. Eric Andre show. Haven't seen any of Eric Andre's special.
You're into that?
Yeah,
kind of
Hannibal
stuff.
Buress.
That's Popper style as well.
Yeah,
Eric
Hannibal
Andre,
Buress is
yeah.
hilarious. Big fan of him. I just watched his like Fringe, Edinburgh Fringe Festival kind of show, which is amazing, really good. But yeah, like I think coming back, it's like it's kind of like figuring out. And once again, like who am I to define like what stand-up comedy is? I don't know, but for me, I think true stand-up comedy is funny first, message second. Great stand-up. Great stand-up. Now you can have comedy where it's just like funny, and I think a lot of the times when you're early on in your career, prioritize on just being funny, you know, just like really focus on trying to get funny. And then, hey, if you've got something interesting to express, but dude, I'm a 26-year-old straight white dude. What interesting, like crazy opinions do I have to put out into the world?
Yeah.
That's why I focus on just like anecdotes and funny stories, which is largely what my stand-up comedy like kind of revolves around. It's just funny stories that's happened to me. And I also know I'm not intelligent enough to really have like a really in-depth position on like anything. Like I can speak surface level to a lot.
Pretty good on the women politics before.
Which
that was
ones?
pretty
What I think I can like if you started asking me about policy and stuff like that, dude, I don't know. And it, like you could just easily sprout some facts, and I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like comedians have to keep up with what's happening in society, or humor runs like from the sides and can always be
South
there?
Park.
Yeah. South Park's probably the most like best example of like keeping up to like up with current things. Depends what your thing is though, right? Like if you're an observational comic, 100% you got to stay up with the times, right? But if you're anecdotal, no. Like you just got to be funny with your stories. You got to have fresh material, and you got to be aware of like the overall political and social climate that takes place. And you can't say these kind of things, and you have to be more aware of like these kind of subjects. 100%. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I think it varies, man. Yeah, it really varies according to like your specific style. But yeah.
Do you write? Do you actually write?
Yeah.
Will you record? You talk to yourself? How is
Talk
your
to myself? I do. Yeah. In the mirror, 12 hours a day.
Yeah,
Yo,
man.
I reckon.
Good practice.
You should try that.
You
To
reckon?
see your
Have you done
face,
that?
right?
I've
To see
never-
your
Just
reaction.
talk to the mirror for 12 hours.
I did. So I used to have my own podcast. I did some like weird stuff on my podcast. Like you can find these old episodes where I did like stuff like that. I had this one episode where I just straight up stared at a person for an hour. We just locked eyes for one whole hour. I timed the thing, right? Had one where I had like a woman who was.
You got married afterwards.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I bet, eh?
No, I know. Yeah, you know. But then I had this other woman who was like completely naked come on the podcast. You can find that on there.
Fantastic.
Completely. It was
Nice.
awesome, man. And I had a date on the podcast as well where like I had like a waiter come in. We had a 3-course meal. We had a cello player.
Fuck,
The
that's
whole
cool.
jazz.
That's amazing.
And then I interviewed like a bunch of other people too, where it was just like just goofy things. Like I interviewed just friends, comedians, scientists, all sorts of jazz. And then I got waterboarded on my podcast once. Yeah, that was horrific. Actually, don't recommend that. Great material though.
Yeah.
Waste of water. But yeah, it was great. Yeah, just
So was it like a traditional waterboarding, or was it like the wet towel over the face kind of waterboarding?
wait. What's
pouring water
traditional
over it?
waterboarding? What do you reckon traditional is?
Oh, like what you see on the movies where they might have like a big wheel and you go in and then out.
Is
like
that
on
traditional
the Princess Bride, I
waterboarding?
would imagine so.
I'm learning tonight.
We were like real modern waterboarding in my podcast.
So
studio.
but you're like half upside down, yeah.
I was like lying down in the seat, like my hands weren't bound or anything, but I was just like that. And
They
had
should
like
have been.
They should, yeah, my mouth
It's
should have been
real
shut too.
waterboarding.
yeah. I guess. Sorry, I'm a sissy. It was. We were just goofing around with a bunch of stuff. So we were just trying like a bunch of like interesting, funny, dumb things.
Were you sober?
Yeah. Dude, I'm not a huge like when it comes to partying. Not a huge drinker. Not like so crazy. When I was born with 3 kidneys. So I had 3 kidneys, and then basically I've got 1 fully functioning one now. So my ability to like process anything, booze, drugs, all that jazz, super limited. So my tolerance to this stuff
It's
is
limited.
Like, yeah, I can't drink a lot. I can't like because my kidneys have to process it, right? My liver and the kidneys, and so I can't process a lot of alcohol. I can't do like a
But
lot.
you said you got an extra one.
So I have 1.5 essentially. So we had to remove one. So on this side they crowded up, and so now I only have 1 fully developed one.
Do you joke about that?
I should, but nah,
should.
I don't.
I was going to try
Hey.
to, and then I was like,
Nah, give it a go.
It
Go
got
on.
very serious,
late
but
now.
you should. But you should. Anyway, carry on.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so I'm like I'm not a huge party animal when it comes to that because I just can't I can't keep up.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know. Like when I was younger, I'm 26, and I just like a few beers, and I'm like, oh, you know, same with drugs, that kind of thing, and not that I advocate doing them.
the cheap date now, though, eh?
It's crazy cheap date. Yeah,
that's
crazy. It's great, man. Like I can't complain at all. As long as you're aware. Like when you're younger, you can't really pace yourself, so you don't really know what's going on. But now I'm like, yeah, all
And
good.
why did you stop with the podcast?
Time, man. Yeah, time. So like I was so you can still find it online. It's called Gavin Learns. It was just a time thing. It was taking up a lot of time. I was kind of getting a bit when I first started off, I think like I was doing it as like a way to prove to myself that I could have these types of conversations rather than being like
Nice.
truly passionate about the conversations. And so
Good practice.
in itself, right? Like great learning experience because I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I could do these things. Confidence booster, awesome. But I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I can do this. I know this about myself. Let's try doing something else. And just the time that I was putting into it just wasn't really paying off. Long term, I'd love to do something crazy like that again. But at the moment, I'm kind of just into like making funny videos online. That's kind of my thing. And doing stand up. Like stand up's like the main focus. Getting as much stage time as I can. Gigging around town. Kind of like I'm so excited to be able to perform like smaller towns like Whitianga and just getting out to like see new audiences. And it's so easy to get stuck in your bubble. You know, if you're like living in Christchurch, Wellington, Auckland, you can get stuck in that kind of little thing. You know, you just that's your audience.
Gotta move.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and there's such an avenue for it too, and such like I think people are really keen to like see it as well. You know, like around New Zealand. Like it's Whitianga is so accessible to Auckland. It's like 2.5 hours away. It's like nothing. You
You
know?
can take an airplane, it takes like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, how much is that though?
Like 80
100,
bucks.
Is that
100
it?
Yeah,
No, it's not even 100. $79.
What?
for some flights, right? Not like
No.
usually it's 100, isn't it?
No.
It's a
Really?
79, yeah, one way. I don't even know why you
Oh,
drive
one
here.
way. Yeah.
The amount of money I probably spent in gas. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Literally.
What are you, rich?
I do comedy. No. I'm
yeah,
20.
it's pretty sweet, man. And it takes you straight just to that domestic terminal at
Yeah.
Auckland.
Yeah.
So if you're flying internationally, you can just jump on and
True.
So that's gonna be a big thing for us here as well, because as we were talking before the show, we want to start bringing more
Yeah.
people. So these flights will definitely help.
Yeah, for sure. Especially as the place grows too, right? Do you reckon like 50 Young is going to go the way the Queenstown has?
It might be closer to
You hope not?
the Mount
Yeah.
Maunganui vibe, eh, Brett? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. Mount Maunganui, yeah. Not as big, obviously.
No.
There's nowhere near the. You just couldn't.
Yeah.
We just gotta,
There's not even enough land.
But the cool thing is that like we have Kuatuna, we have Cooks Beach, all these cool places around it that they might become that alternative hub that
Hotspots.
we were talking about, like very close to where the center
Yeah.
will be.
Do you guys have like festivals, like music festivals down here? Or?
Used to.
The Coro
We
Fest,
have one. We have
Coro
the,
Fest, yeah.
Yeah.
There are things, yeah. It's more like the Coro Glen Tavern brings a lot of cool shows at the end of
Yeah.
the year. Eccentric on the other side.
Is that the Corkin Tavern? Is that like the English bar on the waterfront? They got like the little.
No, they're like it's 15 minutes out of town. You go across like a one-way bridge, and then there's just a pub.
you
on the
drove
left.
past?
Ah,
you
okay.
drove past.
Yeah.
Just
Tavern.
after the one-way bridge, like this big tavern on your left.
Yeah. Okay. There's
Main
like a,
place, awesome place. But
Yeah.
big. Like
They have
big
good gigs
venue.
there though. They bring
Yeah,
like
yeah.
big New Zealand bands.
yeah. You reckon?
But then, how many people would be could go there?
15,000? No,
What?
Not that much. 10.
No,
Can you?
no.
Can,
10,000?
No, way less. Way less.
Yeah, I
I'm
thought it was
exaggerating. I'm exaggerating.
like
eh.
200 maybe?
Oh, it's like a. It's
Could they
not
put
in the
Is it a
five-
pub.
stadium?
Could they
or-
put 5,000 people? They can, eh? Or you think it's
Yeah,
too
no,
much?
I'm not sure. I was just.
Sorry, I'll
hoping
ask-
you.
I'll
I was,
ask
just-
Jed
sorry,
and
I was actually
Michelle.
hoping you knew.
I know,
That's why
no. I'm talking
You're the
shit.
musician. I'm
Talking
just a
shit.
blaster.
I don't know. Sorry. We're gonna ask Jed and Michelle. We'll find out. But no, now that I'm thinking, it's definitely less than that.
I thought it would have
Sorry.
been in the hundreds, but
No, they can put a couple of thousands people maybe. But
there we go. With a couple of
I
thousand.
started with 15. That was ridiculous, right? Sorry.
15,000
I
is
thought
like a
about
stadium.
I thought about 1.5, but then I said 15,000. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
That was
Yeah,
fucked up.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
My bad.
1,500.
It's
yeah.
a main
I would say
place.
under a
It's
couple.
awesome.
Under. Now I'm doing it. No, under 2,000 would be my
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. They bring like
Someone
someone
ring up- someone tell us.
They bring big
Yeah.
bands. Yeah.
Dial in right now. What's our
If
number?
someone is watching, there's
Yeah.
a
But they
lot of
have
people
good
watching.
New Zealand
let
bands
us know.
come like
Main
for a
bands.
small
Yeah.
venue.
Yeah.
But we want to. That's what we were talking about before. Like there's space for the comedy. There's space for small gigs. I know one.
Bro,
Count, man.
knock on the mic.
So we want to do it. Like we want to bring more, and especially for you guys. Man. Like you guys are doing it. You know, like there's an appreciative crowd here.
For
man.
sure. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, as long as I think most people are just happy if they can break even, they'll do it. You know what I mean? Like, just need to get stage time. Everyone's desperate for just getting up as much as you possibly can. Like, if I can just perform in front of like a crowd, I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have gone into this for the money, but you know, like, because there's just no money in it. So like, it's just 100% like getting better. You're committed to the art form rather than the money side.
Do you see potential for like getting involved with other things like writing for
TV
show?
and
Do you
stuff like
that side of the thing?
I think I do. I think I'm kind of in like a somewhat unique spot where it's like I sound super foreign, right? But I'm also Kiwi in terms of just my upbringing and all that. So it's kind of like, I feel like me personally for my career, I don't really know where I fit in to that side of things, you know, like I don't know where I fit into like New Zealand comedy. Like, do I have a place on screen in TV? You know, I don't know. And I think it would have to be somebody else who would tell me. My gut instinct is like, no, probably have to go overseas, like travel a tiny bit to get spots. I'd love to. Like, if I could get on TV, awesome. If I could write for TV, awesome. But I just don't know if like how I sound, how I talk, how I act is like, and I totally get it, right? Like, you want to portray New Zealand voices, like authentic, you know, Kiwi, Māori, Pacifica voices. I don't know if I really represent that. Just perhaps like my upbringing and the way I sound.
Let me know where you're from.
Yeah.
Wellington.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if I can really bring that to the table. So I don't really know where I fit in that kind of world. I don't know. I would love to do. I'd love to do some writing. That'd be sick. You know what I mean? Like, if I could sustain myself with comedy, awesome. I'd love to do writing. But once again, like, the great thing is like there's so many other avenues that you can kind of like pursue when it comes to comedy and that side of things. Like, you know, via online. That's huge avenue.
Did you like school? Were you good at school?
God, I didn't mind primary. I hated high school, man. I hated high school. I did not like it. Yeah, I was like,
It was here, right? In New Zealand.
yeah, Wellington College, you know, which is great school, by the way. Just like me personally, I was like so lost, you know, as like a young boy. Didn't really know. I only think I came into like my own when I was like 23, really. Like, just kind of like learning. I'm still like developing, obviously, but like
In what way?
my balls haven't dropped. Yeah. This is all plastered on, you know, man. I just went to your house, found the beard trimmer, and just like, you know,
That wasn't my beard.
Oh God, man, it was your ass. That's why it stinks. It's not my breath, bro. It's just this is this guy. No,
All right, so we're on.
I was like so like when I was 8, man, yeah, I just did not like high school. I was so desperately trying to figure out who I was, and I was trying to act as if somebody I wasn't. Went traveling and just did not like high school, man. Did not like, constantly felt like an outsider. I was so desperately wanted to be cool, and I probably came off as like somewhat desperate, like I think, and then just like authenticity is like, and knowing myself now, like authenticity is like the coolest thing ever, right? Like that's awesome. And like if you're just authentic to yourself, more often than not, you can fit into like any group regardless. Didn't know that, you know, as a young man. And then took ages and then went to South America. I feel like my younger side of myself, probably from like 11 to 22, was very performative. You know, I was like performing the role of somebody that I thought was cool, right? And then met my ex, and then that was cool.
Straight away. Cheers to your ex.
Yeah. I don't know how to say it, you know? Yeah. I knew from the moment we were going to break up. So
Why, did you get married?
There you go.
Zing, that was good. I met this girl, and then that was cool because like in many ways that kind of like validated. I think for like a lot of young boys, like especially I went to an all boys school. Like there's that idea of like probably societally pushes it on us. Like you're only a man if you hit like the XYZ criteria. You know, you're masculine, you're big, you're assertive, you're dominant, you have a girlfriend, that kind of stuff. And so I think subconsciously that was probably really buried in my mind, where I was like, if I can get a girlfriend, that would prove to myself that I'm like a man. You know what I mean? And so, which is totally unfair for the opposite gender, right? Because you're just putting your validation as a man into somebody else's. And that's just not, you know, and it's not even authentic. And looking back on it now, you know, you learn that stuff. And so, you know, me and my ex, great terms, like, by the way, just, but like, yeah, I think going through that relationship taught me like, oh, you know, I was able to see worth in myself because somebody else could see it. Yeah. And then, we broke up, and that in itself had like a lot of learnings as well. You know, like I had to learn a lot about that. And then coming into like 24, 25, 26, where I am now, just a lot more value for self, I think, is kind of like what that happened. And that's a constant thing I found for myself as well, just like constant affirmations, you know, big fan of like meditating, my form of meditation, exercise, all that jazz. Yeah. Yeah. Just, I think one thing that needs to be put more on emphasis on people in general is just like a real conscious effort to like, especially in Kiwi culture, which sounds like an outsider perspective because of the way I sound, right? It sounds like I'm talking shit, but it's like, it was what I grew up with. Like the idea of tall poppy syndrome, being humble, being proud. Like, I think there's like a subtle sense of like almost shame a tiny bit, you know, like there's this like, tall poppy syndrome is probably the most classic example of like, you know, don't talk yourself up, don't big yourself up at all. And it's like, no, I mean, like, there's a difference between like having self-worth and being arrogant. You know, those are two very, very different things. And yeah, for sure, there's like a line that you can cross, but you can 100% like teach self-worth in a way that doesn't go over to that side of like, I'm the shit, I'm the best. Like that's, you know what I mean?
That narcissism.
Narcissism versus,
being confident, right? It's being okay with yourself. Yeah, wherever you go, there you are.
For
right?
sure. Yeah. And I don't know where that like, it's probably English culture, right? Like it's you know, comes down from that kind of history, right? Where it's just like, yeah, modesty to the point of self, not deprecation. I don't know quite what the word is, but just like putting yourself down. Like modesty, great. You know, that's admirable at the same time. But I think modesty with quiet self-confidence is like the perfect combination. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that has been in many regards lost. But as I've grown up in New Zealand and as I've gotten older into where I am now, I do see that shifting a tiny bit. You know, as mental health has become like a lot more prevalent in society, and especially men's mental health discussions around that. Like, it's
bananas how common that's just become in the last, like, especially the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, last 4 years, 5 years, entered the mainstream, you know? It came out with, like, rugby players talking about it, I think, more than anything. You know? Like, just, you know, checking in on your mates. Who is that one rugby player?
Yeah, I was recommending.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, this, you know, old school cat.
Was it Kerwin? John?
Potentially, I couldn't. He was always in the cooking commercials. Not cooking commercials, but he was advocating for men's mental health, and he was talking about cooking as his form of like meditative expression. But yeah, that's like fully entered the mainstream and a lot more. And I don't see like, dude, remember the phrase "try hard"? Okay? What? And once again, this sounds like an outsider coming in, but I grew up here. What culture has a phrase, try hard. What the hell?
Our culture does.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean? But like,
Go back to your home country.
yeah, back to where you came from.
They took our job.
I ain't taking no one's job. But that's the thing, right? Like, how weird is it that there's like an insult for trying hard? You know, like try hard. Like, yeah, like that should be something that's an endearing term, you know, but it's used as like an insult. I remember growing up with that all the time. Try hard.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was a big call, eh?
So big.
So sorry,
And
just because this is not part of my cultural background. It was a thing like
I'll let the Kiwi explain it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is. Nah, it's like when a try hard is exactly that. When someone's trying hard.
Oh, so you actually
Trying-
telling the person you're trying too hard. You're not actually saying, hey, you gotta try hard. It's the opposite. You're saying you're trying too hard.
Yeah,
So
it's
people
cringe.
who yeah.
Right.
So that would just be, you'd just call them a try hard.
Yeah.
I forgot about. I haven't heard that.
Got
in
it,
so
got it.
Neither
long.
have I. It's
Yeah.
completely been eradicated from like the vocabulary, I think, for younger people for the most part. But I think, you know what, it delved on like the lines of kiss ass, like you're kissing ass a tiny bit. So there would, a lot of the times, like, you know, teachers' pets would become try hard, but it bled over into so many other aspects of culture. Yeah, I remember that. So you remember that when you were in primary school?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All the time, man. Yeah, all the time. And I reckon 2015 is when things started changing for the most part, I think. Like conversations just around, like, we grew so much more aware of how to interact with people on like an emotional level in so many different regards, you know, like I think probably, I don't know if it's like third wave feminism, but like the Me Too movement made conversations around that become so much more prevalent. And so I think that in many regards, like led the way for so many other conversations when it came to like interacting with one another.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, boys with their fathers, mothers with their son, all kinds of just conversations sort of forming. And we're still in like the depths of that, you know? Like, remember when internet culture used to be so toxic back in the day? I don't know if you guys were into gaming. We'd be on Call of Duty. People would just be talking like so much smack to each other. And you watch YouTube videos of like prevalent YouTubers and you'd see things that people would say back in the day, like so like nonchalantly, very chill. They'd be like, whoa, this is so bad. You can't be saying that. And it's almost like we've come into this way of knowing how to talk to each other, even on like a digital like level as well.
Yeah.
We're getting there very slowly, but it's like,
I think because you have a lot of repercussions too, eh? Like
this is true. Yeah. This accountability,
the discipline
right?
around it will be like, oh, well, we'll just report that person.
For sure. Yeah. Just report them. That's it. But now it's, there's like, I think accountability has a lot to say for how we interact with one another for the most part. You know, you're being held accountable.
Do you think like when people are more comfortable with themselves and they're working on their own mental space, it's easier for them to accept jokes and to have a laugh? Because like,
yeah, it's a good question.
I love when people make a good joke, you know, and it's not offensive, but sometimes the offensive joke, like, it will happen if you let it affect you. Probably I don't want to say you're losing, but like, you know, like, have a laugh about yourself first, and then you probably understand how to have a laugh about anything else. You know, sometimes it's offensive, and of course I'm not going down that road, but you know what I mean? Do you agree with that? Like, there's this space for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, offense is entirely subjective, right? Like, you know what I mean? It is like it's a subjective experience. What's offensive to one person is offensive to another person. Whether or not like there's you can be offended, but at the same time not. There's like anyone can be offended by anything, but like you'd go the extra step when you take active measures to like stop that person from saying that thing. But there's like a line, like, and I don't know where that line is, and it's constantly moving because you can't. I'm not like exactly like you should be able to say anything. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but it's like almost like you have to take the bad with the good. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I feel
Someone's always going to be offended.
100%, and like I don't know if like I don't know. I think once again, like, if you're coming from a place of like empathy and understanding when it comes to telling those things, more often than not, you're probably not going to make people mad. I don't know. I don't really know. Honestly, like, I can't even.
Among your friends, your comedian friends, do you guys take the piss out of each other?
100%. Yeah, we're awful.
Have you ever felt like bad? You're like, ooh, dude, oof. Like, maybe you didn't say it, but did you feel like it was hard on you? A joke or something?
The worst insults I ever get, or the worst thing you can probably say to me or my friends, that you're not funny. Like that's because we place so much worth, and like I know you did it earlier. No, that doesn't.
Thanks, Brett.
But
That's a good welcome.
It only
for
hurts
our
if someone
guests.
funny says it, so don't worry. But like, here's the thing, like that. Yeah, I mean, listen, you get callous to it, whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you take the shit out of each other, take the piss out of each other.
Right.
I mean, that's why I think like more. It's all relative to like what is like affecting you in your life day to day, right? That's why like blue collar comedy is usually like way more like working class comedy is usually a lot rougher, more like edgy, as we would say now, because I think the reality of it is people who have those types of jobs have a much more rough real life experience. So these jokes don't actually affect them to the same degree that somebody who's like a metropolitan. That's why I think a lot of the times like these
That's why people think Joe Rogan's funny.
yeah. Well, I don't like his comedy at all. Not a big fan of his comedy, but like definitely a fan of his like just like his whatever. But like, but yeah, it's interesting, right? Because like it's the same thing with like you have a rough existence. These things aren't going to affect you to the same degree that somebody who's like a very easy upbringing does, and that's why I think more often than not the ideas of like woke culture and like microaggressions and stuff like that comes out of more metropolitan, cushier lifestyles, right? That's just, I mean, you're not going to have somebody, and whether or not that's good or not, I don't know. I'm not going to say, but that you're not going to have some guy working out like shearing sheep being like, yo, that's a microaggression. You know what I mean? They're like, no, shut the fuck up, but that, on the same flip side of that, like, I don't know, because that old school idea of like comes back to what I was talking about before, like, what is a man? Gruff, keeps his emotions, doesn't express himself, like, I don't think that's healthy either, so I don't.
Oh, it's definitely not healthy.
Not at all. And it's very in like that idea of masculinity, I think is very much like being deconstructed. And the great thing about like that idea of like the woke culture is that like it really has challenged like those ideas of like what is a traditional man, like what is what does it mean to be like, can you be emotional, can you express your feelings, can you talk, like that all came from the same place of like microaggressions and we're too sensitive and woke, you know what I mean, like they all kind of came from there. And then so there's great things that come out of it as well.
Microaggressions.
What a word, eh?
Yeah,
that's.
But there's a line. Yeah, go ahead.
It's such a bizarre thing, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much. No, I won't make that. It's pretty much just people who just get offended easy, right?
I think it's people who are.
Like they're like, that's a microaggression. And it's like, whoa, man, you must be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
It's
what I mean?
people who are just highly sensitive towards.
This is just my face.
I call that a major aggression.
Yeah. So I try my best, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's definitely a line as well for like aspiring to be more. Like, I think, like I said before, it's great to deconstruct what the idea of like masculinity is, but I also think there's a really good place for, in many regards, more often than not, for a lot of males to be able to live up to standards of like, you know what, I'm going to tough it out. I think there's definitely a place for being like, I'm going to callous myself. I'm not going to be weak in this situation. I think there's definitely a place for that as well. Yeah, the idea of I don't know, man. Hey, everyone has like different mental health issues and like, how certain actions are perceived towards them. I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's probably a societal thing though, isn't it? Because certain peoples, I might say, like that, not necessarily a race or a gender or anything, but like certain peoples are definitely more
susceptible to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You
know, like, I mean, I don't want to like bring up, so for example, feminists like can be easily offended. I'm probably offended right now just even saying the word. But I mean, like, there's certainly peoples that are, and then you got other people like Jews who tend to take it, because they are quite often comedians, they tend to take if someone makes a Jewish joke, it's like they sort of tend to take that a lot easier. Yeah. Like they're a lot more resilient towards, say, something that some other type of person would consider racist or speciest. I heard that word the other day. Or ageist.
All right. Ugh. Yeah. To be honest, dude, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I think like, I can't even speak on it. You know what I mean? Like, Probably rather not.
Probably because I didn't make a valid point.
Yeah.
Just insulted two
Man,
different
like,
types of people.
if there's a cause, you know, that people are really fighting for, like, I understand not enjoying people going for the jokes, you know, like, I don't think you should eliminate the possibility of making a joke, because as we just talked before, like, there's always room for a laugh. I think if you're good with yourself and if you really believe in a cause that you're fighting for, you should be able to still laugh about a joke. You know, like, and then it's fine. It shows your maturity. It shows how much you're into it, you know, like, because as I said before, like, having a laugh about our own shit, it's probably the best way to go around it, you know, like, to find a solution. So, like, some people really take it very seriously because of what you said. Who knows what happens in their past, you know, that made them become an activist, a feminist, whatever. So, like, obviously they're not going to enjoy a joke because there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of pain.
But you can not
there.
enjoy it, but let it still be. You can just
Yeah.
not go. That's the thing.
Because
Exactly,
a
yes.
roast is a good example. Like, you know, where like a lot of people enjoy a good roast of themselves. I like getting. I don't mind getting roasted.
Most of the people go and they let themselves, you know, isn't it? Like, you go there. And
Here's the thing, like, there's definitely like room for being like, hey, I don't like that. I don't want to support that. Awesome. And there's 100% like, I totally agree with creating your own space for that, right? But I don't think that has to come at the cost of destroying another space, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a good way.
yeah, I think
put it.
100% you can create your own space and you can say, hey, we're not going to have this type of comedy here. Totally fine. This is your show. You can do whatever the hell you want. But if somebody else wants to do a different style thing, create your own thing. Do you know what I mean? That's totally fine as well, right? I think you should be allowed to do both those things simultaneously. And if they don't want to cross over, hey, man, whatever. There should 100% be more representation in comedy. And that's why I think, like, you want to see voices represented, and it makes it for a better show as well. That's why it's like, I think it's great. There are like a real push for incorporating voices from minorities, underrepresented groups. It's important because, first of all, makes it more accessible to a wider range of people.
YouTube. Netflix do a great job of that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it makes it more accessible, which is great, right? But like flipping that again, it's like, well, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be like, hey, we're going to take away everything else here as well. And they don't do that, just to be clear. Like I said before, there's never been a better time for being a comedian than now. So yeah, but yeah, I think you have every right to set up your own show and be like, I don't want this here, sick, and you have every right to say, I'm gonna set the show and I only want this here. You're totally allowed to do that, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Have you been to stand-up shows, Brett? To stand-up comedy
I don't
shows?
think I have ever been.
Is that right?
Really?
Really? Man, if you come tomorrow, you're going to be disappointed.
They can probably spot that I'm a heckler like at the door. They're just like, don't let this guy in.
You're going to be disappointed because you're not going to be let in.
So, man, I was reading about I was actually watching a video, and I don't remember the comedian, but he said that during the pandemic, a bunch of comedians in America got together to do like Zoom.
Oh, that
stuff.
shit sucks.
And he was like,
I don't care what people say.
It just didn't work, you know? And then he was really defending the power of being there.
Live,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, so why is that?
So I reckon, first of all, there's like a whole lot of science behind like actually being somewhere physically and like picking up on people's subtle body language and signs when it comes to like just the muscle twitches in your, you know what I mean? There's a whole lot of science on that as well. Also, Zoom sucks. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not good to watch comedy on there. It's just
functional for work and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
That's it,
I don't even know why it took off.
I don't think it ever did take off. I just think so many comedians were desperate to have some kind of avenue to comedy,
platform,
and it was just pushed by comedians. And hey, cool, man, power to you, but it sucked. Like, I've never seen like a good special done on Zoom. But I think the best thing was like a comedian's bread and butter is a podcast as well as making small videos, sketches, and stuff like that. So that side of things push people into that space more than ever, right? And yes, it came at the cost of like live stage time. But I think to be successful as a comedian now, you need to hit so many different angles. Now you need to be great at your stand-up. You need to have an online. You got to have an online presence. Like it's just you got to get you got to get your word out there somewhere.
Well,
do you know
how
what I mean?
else do you do it?
You don't.
Like your video store.
Yeah.
You know, like how do you know? Like
How do you know who's there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so you've got to have some kind of like angle and stuff like that. And so that I think in many regards taught comedians the importance of that. You know, I mean there are full on. What's interesting now is you're seeing people more interested in the celebrity of what a celebrity is now is so different to what it used to be back in the day, right? And so like there's comedians who are celebrities first, and why am I forgetting this name? Kanye's Pete. Oh my God, he's dating Kanye West's Kim Kardashian.
Wow.
What's his name?
Peter Andre.
No. Oh my God, I can't
I don't know who's
believe.
dating Kim Kardashian.
Who is dating Kim Kardashian?
I thought that Kanye West was.
No, man.
Is it the blonde guy? Is the guy with the blonde hair?
Yeah, bleach blonde.
Bleach-
Pete
bleach-
Davis.
yeah,
Not Pete
yeah,
Davis.
Machine Gun Kelly.
I know the guy.
No.
But what is he up to?
Well, he's just more of a celebrity first and a comedian second, right? But like the fact is, he's considered a super successful comedian. But it's not because of his comedy; it's because of his celebrity, right?
So why is he a celebrity beforehand?
Because he's
Is he an
banging
actor or something?
Kanye West's
Oh, so
wife.
it's- damn.
Yeah, and he dated Ariana Grande, and he was on
Oh,
SNL.
really?
Guy's funny, don't get me wrong, but like he's bigger. He's more known for who he's sleeping with rather than who he is. But that's an interesting thing, right? Like that's a new
Pete
phenomenon.
Davidson?
Pete Davidson. Pete Davies. What am I saying? Pete
What does
Davidson.
he look like? Can you show me?
You don't know who Pete Davidson? Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Got
Man,
style.
I thought I had rings under my.
Got style.
around my
Good
eyes.
looking dude.
Yeah, man. He's like a celebrity stoner, though. But like, that's an interesting thing, right? Like, the idea of what a celebrity is. People used to be famous for doing things. Now people are famous for being famous.
Is he dating Kanye?
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. Kanye and Kim broke up, and now he's dating her.
She doesn't seem to like attractive men, eh? I mean, I don't.
I reckon Kanye's pretty good looking.
You reckon?
Yeah.
It's got style.
Yeah, man. Why? Who do you think's like an attractive man?
I don't know, like.
Brad Pitt.
Nah, yeah, fuck, of course.
He is, eh? Good man. Shout out to
I don't know,
Will
like.
Who's an
Will Smith.
unconventional? Yeah, Will Smith's good looking.
Popeyes.
Who's an
Popeyes
un-
back. Popeyes back. Will Smith. Great.
Oh, Will Smith.
And
is a
he'll
handsome
protect
guy.
you. He'll protect
He
you.
will.
He will.
Well,
Against smaller men
yeah,
than him.
he's so pathetic.
How dumb was that? That was so
How dumb was that, eh?
so dumb. And then
Have,
like,
have you seen the video of his partner trying to get the video of him on the social media, and he was like, "Oh, you should let me know first you're recording." Have you
Oh,
seen
no.
that?
no. Can we put it up?
I don't think so.
Nah,
The fucking
Copyright
kickers
shit,
out.
maybe?
No.
I'd say.
All right, never mind.
Wow.
No. Yeah.
So man, are you definitely on the side of that story that didn't like that slap, eh?
Oh, it was dumb. It was so stupid.
It was sad,
Yeah.
eh?
I don't know. I guess like I can kind of understand like his emotional state though. I mean, like he's been being clowned on for years because his wife cheated on him with her son's friend.
Oh, at the minimum.
Yeah, right. At the minimum, right?
So wait, what? Say that again.
So Will Smith's wife, they took like they were still married. She started sleeping with her son's friend. So she was sleeping while they were married, right? And so they found out about it. They had a big chat about it on air. Everyone's clowning on
It's on
him.
like Oprah or something, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. Red Table, I think is what it was called, some show. But then now they're in an open relationship, right? So they're in an open relationship together. And
Well,
so
she is.
yeah, that's so, dude. Hey, to say this though, Will Smith was sleeping with Margot Robbie, so you know
was he?
that's something there. Like I mean, I don't
Was
know.
he though?
Relationship.
Nah, who knows?
He
right?
probably was just like, can you just say the people that don't
Wow, I didn't know this part
Yeah.
of this story.
And so I think originally he felt, I think, you know, getting clowned on for so long, and then he saw an opportunity for like a young, like a smaller man, lower in the social totem pole than he is.
Man, Chris Rock is the shit. Say, couldn't think of anyone better than him. What a
He's
fuck.
so
what
funny.
an artist, eh?
Funny, great guy, but like he knew he wasn't going to get slapped back, and he knew there was probably not going to be any consequences for doing this. Like, imagine if it was like a bigger male who was like, you know, The Rock said
Yeah,
that.
everyone-
He would not
yeah.
go up and slap him. If it was a woman, he would not go up and slap him. It was a very unique.
What was that
circumstance.
comedian who was on the other award ceremony only like a week
Ricky
earlier?
Gervais or what?
The female comedian, I can't remember.
Amy
her name.
Schumer? She was on. She was on.
Was it the
No,
Gra-
no,
was
it
it
was
the
another
Grammy?
one.
Was it the Grammy? The award?
And she totally roasted Will Smith.
I don't know.
a
But
lot of people are. A lot of
He
he
comedians
laughed at
are.
the
A
joke
lot of
initially, though,
comedians are.
right?
Yeah.
And I think he was probably just pushed into this corner in his mind where he had to defend his wife's honor and blah, 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 blah. Not acceptable.
though?
I don't know. It's pretty
I don't
embarrassing.
think I pretty much studied that. I've watched it probably 100, 150 times.
Yeah. Are you one of those guys who thinks it's like a publicity stunt?
No, I thought it was real right off the bat.
Yeah, me too.
Only because of his reactions when he was like swearing
Afterwards. Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I was like, that looked real to me.
For sure.
But he holds himself really bizarrely. Like he's got a really like big smirk after he slaps him.
It was like a movie. He seemed like he was in a movie.
Yeah, like he was proud of himself for hitting him, you know.
Yeah.
And it was the weirdest slap too. Like I read one comment that someone had written. It was like he just got like slapped with the most technical, like the most technical face slap ever, and then with the hyperextended arm afterwards. Like it was like I thought it was a punch to begin with because of that hyperextended arm, but then his fingers right. I was just like, it was such a bizarre.
You didn't study the video.
such a
Probably the
bizarre thing.
strongest slap though I've ever.
It was
like,
pretty
like,
Oh yeah,
the closest
it
to
sounded
a punch.
like a punch.
Yeah, the closest to a punch you could get without punching.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
know?
said. I said to the missus, I was like, I reckon he's done that for like legal reasons. So it
You
sounded.
could still go to So Chris Rock could have pressed charges if he wanted to.
Oh yeah, I actually hope he still does. But I mean,
yeah.
like, you might get in less trouble for
That's
a
true.
slap than a punch. But he sort of hit him with like, it sounded like he hit him with the palm.
Yeah,
Like of his
fair.
hand
Pretty bad,
almost,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Pretty bad.
Like 'cause when you watch those guys slapping each other on like YouTube,
Oh
have you
my
seen
God,
them?
those
And
idiots.
some guys slap, and
So
it's
dumb.
like, psh, and then the other guy it's pretty much a punch. You know what I mean? Like, and they get knocked out. It's pretty,
Yeah,
pretty funny.
the violence thing is the one that no one should argue
Sure.
about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? You know, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, but he offended. Well, okay,
He shouldn't be attacking
Yeah,
somebody.
especially when
well,
you do
there
that.
would
so-
be a line. To be fair, wouldn't
It
there?
wasn't there though.
No, it wasn't there.
You know
But
what
there
I
would be
mean?
a line. If he was saying something like super racist, like
Oh, but man,
and
but-
In a
disgusting,
different context,
then it
it
would
was
be like,
like,
yeah, someone would
but
jump
that's-
up and give him and sock him, you know.
Yeah, but it's
But not just like,
Nah.
because she looks. I mean, even now that I'm looking into her a little bit more for fun, like
besides
she's
research.
more and more
Studying,
disgusted.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
but she's become more and
PhD.
more. She's become more and more disliked by me. But when it first happened, I was like, I don't get it because she looks amazing,
Yeah,
bald,
yeah.
and whatever her name is, who played G.I. Jane. Like she looks amazing bald.
Was it Demi Moore who
Yeah,
played
Demi
it?
Moore. That's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
It wasn't even really an insult. It was like you're comparing one beautiful woman to another
another
beautiful
beautiful
woman,
Yeah, it's
and it wasn't even really a funny joke. Sorry, Chris Rock. It wasn't even that funny.
he's
Yeah.
coming to New Zealand.
He is,
in
man.
August.
Apparently, he sold more tickets after that slap than he ever has.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for
There
the
you
whole
go.
tour. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
a guy! In Brazil, the Everybody Hates Chris.
The
It's
show,
still
yeah.
like still a big hit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, hey Taylor, we watched that. Such an amazing
Yeah, I remember that coming out.
timing for everything there. You know, like, and with kids, you know, like we're playing smart and making great use of kids on the show. You
Terry
know,
Crews, the
Terry
dad.
Crews.
Terry Crews is the
He's
dad.
so good at that.
Yeah, yeah. Old Spice. Remember the Old Spice commercials?
Yeah, that's right.
Old Spice body wash.
Oh, that's what do I wear Old Spice?
I got a question from the
that the
audience
red
while
one?
you check that.
I haven't seen the. I haven't seen.
It's great. Great. He's like jacked. Yeah.
So, Doug Funniest, great name, good start.
Doug Funniest.
Would you say that it's harder to be a comedian in New Zealand or in the US?
So never done comedy in the States, but talking to people that I have talked to who've come from the States over here, and knowing what I know about New Zealand, the great thing about New Zealand, like I said before, funding. There's so much funding available. There's like a real avenue to be able to sustain yourself fully. I think the ceiling is so much higher in the States though. Like you're just, there's something to be said for being surrounded by like top-notch quality comics. And there's some amazing ones in Auckland as well, and that's kind of the reason everyone comes up. Like you're surrounded by people who are like just better than you, and you just get better that way. And so the same can be said for the States as well, right? Like you're just surrounded by more people at a similar level who are just, better. So I think, is it better to do it in I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. But I think like the great thing about like going to Auckland as well is because once again, you're just surrounded by people who are just like so much better than you, and you just get better by proxy of being around them, and I'm sure it would happen in the States just to a higher degree, not saying people are necessarily better in the States than they are here, but there's probably more people at that level that would filter that passing down of like knowledge subconsciously than in the
There's
States.
like 400 million people or whatever, is it?
336, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, and just like on scale, there's just there's just probably more.
Imagine how funny
people.
China is.
Right? Yeah, dude. I wonder if I don't know anything about like Chinese stand-up comedy. Pretty
The
tough to
heel
do.
shot.
Not
Yeah.
allowed. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gone, yeah.
Not allowed. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
One more question. Okay, so what are your strategies to? That's one. That one is from Gabe. Shout out to Gabe. Always sending cool questions.
Thank you, Gabe.
What are your strategies to remember your jokes on stage?
Yeah. So I am a very visual person, so I try and create like a story visually speaking when I go over my set. So I will start off with first of all, before each set, I have like I know the word for each bit, and a bit can range typically for like 2 to 5 to 7 minutes. So I know that word, and then I know the images associated with it. So I go festival. I know festival. I have images of a police officer, a dog, and drugs. So I know that kind of goes in there, and then I know visually how the story goes. And so I also, once I know that, I'll then structure each bit on a piece of paper. I'll just write it out, and then below that, I'll write bullet points for each joke within the bit, and just keep going that way. And that's how I remember it. Before each show as well, like a big show, I'll go for a big walk, and I'll completely go over my set, just to like rehash it in my memory.
Yeah.
And then that just makes me just so much more comfortable. I don't even know if it helps remember it. I just know it makes me more comfortable jumping up on stage. I'm just like more present. And dude, the place that you're in mentally plays such a huge role. And especially for me, like with my anecdotes, because I very much like a storyteller, comedian, I need to be, you're performing. You are performing, right? Like, yeah, you've told this joke a load of times. You're performing it as if it's the first time you've said it. It's a performance, right? And so in order to be able to perform, you have to be there mentally in the right spot. Definitely. And so comfortability with the material beforehand puts me in a better place mentally to therefore perform, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So similar to music. That's cool what you're saying.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
The thing that I wanted to ask about music and creative process, cool that you touched that because now it made it more sense to me. When you working on a song, at least my style, like I'm a drummer, so like I go for beats, I go for songs that I love, and I steal it. I steal stuff because I know that I'll put my style on it and it's gonna be mine. But it obviously comes from somewhere, you know, like you're creating, but we are a collection of things that happened to us before. Like,
are there only like 12 melodies in like music or something like that, or 12 keys that you can? I don't even know.
There you go. Good question.
Yeah.
What are the musicians to answer the question?
Yeah, but
Taylor, do you do the same with jokes? Like, do you actually get inspiration from jokes that you hear, or you go for like life stories, things that happen to your life? What's that? The juice? Where do you get it from?
The most original I think you can be is, so you're trying to be original with comedy, right? You want like a unique perspective. So what's more unique than a subjective story? You know what I mean? And so that's where like I try and you can go, so you can have, there's a million bits about airplanes, right? And flying on an airline, right? But there's only so many bits about your exact experience with that airline. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I was flying a million bits. I was flying in the emergency exit row, 2,000 bits. I was flying in the emergency exit row next to a baby, 500 bits. And you just get more and more narrow with your subjective story. And that's why like it's quite harder, I think, to be unique as an observational comic, because you're really trying to get like a unique angle. Yeah, 12 notes. Yeah. And so with that, right, you're essentially your style. So premises I think are fair game. You can, when it comes to writing original material, like premises go for gold. You know what I mean? Obviously you want an original premise because you want to have a unique perspective, right? But when it comes to taking inspiration from other comics, you don't steal jokes. You try and go for original premises. Like if every dude in their 40s has a prostate exam joke, right? Like, oh, it's hilarious. You know, it's been done to death. Sure, you're taking a premise that you're allowed to take. It's just boring. Yeah. But you're allowed to take the premises. You're never allowed to take the jokes, even if you're twisting them a tiny bit. Shouldn't be doing that. But you can take cues on style, for sure. You know what I mean? Cues on style, cues on pacing, timing, all that jazz. That's fair game as well, in my book, at least. You know? Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Until they find you.
Yeah, until I get called out on it, and then I'll stop. But yeah, no, I think it's like, pacing's 100% fair. Like, you know, there's great comic, like Anthony Jeselnik. You know, I don't know if you know Anthony Jeselnik. He's got a very, very unique pacing and cadence to him. And yeah, you can take that as well. I probably wouldn't advise it because it's super unique and very, very hard to pull off. But yeah, That's fair game for sure. Yeah, you can. Yeah. But like I said, you want to be original. You want to be as original as possible. So like,
because you're talking, it's different, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a bang bang or something or like a sound. You're actually telling a story,
Sure.
right? People will know that you got it from someone else.
For sure. Two things on that. So like there's an artist called one of my friends is really into this artist called Tom Sachs. And Tom Sachs has this idea where you start by imitating and then you move on to innovating. So you start by copying, and then after copying, you develop your own unique sense of style out of that. So everyone, I think, is like, it's fair game to be like, oh, this guy reminds me, he's just doing the, Mark Norman act or the Norm Macdonald act. It's like, yeah, this guy's new. He's trying to learn the ropes, and he relies on like doing somewhat of an act, not the bits, but the persona. And then over time, you spawn out from that,
What do you think about that? Have you seen that movie Dolomite, Freddie Murphy?
Oh man,
No.
It's a great movie.
fantastic
We can't talk
movie.
about that.
Yeah, sorry, man. Like,
Nice one.
But yeah,
Have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yes, Jurassic Park.
great movie.
Love that movie.
Man, do you make your family laugh or they
Yeah.
laugh because you're part of
No,
the family?
I make
You
them
should
laugh.
watch that, by the way, Dolomite.
yeah.
Dolomite? Okay,
Dolomite.
I will watch it.
And then next time you're on, I'll be like, so.
Yeah, I'll be like, bro, I can't remember. I make my family laugh. Yeah. They're my dad's always. I got my sense of humor from my dad. And like I don't know. Are we running out of time right now?
No, we're good.
All right, you guys.
Start
I
us.
don't want to.
We're just getting the flow.
Yeah. So like with my dad, I think like comedy was always like a way of like getting validation from like a group, trying to fit in and stuff like that. And so my dad definitely had that, and that filtered down into me.
That's why I never fit in.
Is that right? You just, yeah. Oh man, did you have a tough time growing up?
Trauma's back.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Did you?
No, all good.
Yeah.
Can't you
Asshole.
tell by the confidence?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just who I am.
Yeah. Sorry for being great.
Sorry, guys.
Chill, man.
No.
He doesn't have that Kiwi, like, try hard thing.
Yeah, man. You got
Maybe I
that
should start
Brazilian.
Family was
out.
very supportive, man. Like
Yeah.
my family made two amazing moves that I'm grateful for forever. They supported my choice to learn English and
Yeah.
my choice to play a musical instrument.
Yeah.
And here I am speaking a second language, teaching drums.
Yeah.
So yeah, all
Yeah.
good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No, man, I don't really know where I was going with that, but like, yeah, my comedy kind of just came from like, yeah, that was like my in to being accepted into groups. Do you know what I mean? And then like, I think a lot of comedy comes from that, like some sense of like some void, and the bigger the void, usually it's, the funnier you are, unfortunately, because you get that unique perspective, you got a unique angle that you're kind of going with.
Did you get some stuff from, because how long did you spend in Spain? How long did you live there
2
for?
years, from the age of 7 to 9. Yeah, in Malaga on the south
7 to
coast. Yeah.
Sometimes do you bring some stories? Do you remember some
Man.
different things in the lifestyle? Or no, it was nah.
I don't have any stories with that material specifically. I used to have some jokes when about like South America and stuff like that, but about my stories in South America. But no, I think I don't know. I originally, when I was like my first like idea of like figuring out about myself, was like I thought that moving around so much kind of created that like urge to constantly try and fit into new groups all the time, and I kind of had to be like a quasi chameleon when it came to these groups. Like comedy was a great way of doing it, but it was 100% like I think learned from my dad, like this constant like probably like a subtle, and I don't know if he'd mind me saying this, and probably never gonna watch anyway, but but like this like a desire to like fit in or to be like approved of, and it came from his father as well. So like I think my dad was constantly looking for his dad's validation, and then while doing that, I was looking for it myself as well. So it was like this weird cycle. Like,
Is he funny?
yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
Funnier than you?
Nah, man, no one's funnier than me.
No
Yeah,
one.
no one, bro. No one. You're gonna find out $15 tomorrow.
There you go. We'll be
for
there.
$15, that's it. No, I reckon my dad's like funny just in conversations, So my granddad always made the room laugh, always like parties. He's still around. He's funny even today. Dad, very similar, different tastes to it. Like my granddad was like more comfortable in himself, would make the room laugh. And then I think my dad saw that and would want to emulate it, and then knew that in order, and this is what I learned when I was young too, in order to get my dad's approval and for my dad to get his dad's approval, came in the form of comedy, right? It was like, I saw that my dad validated that or likes that in his dad. So I did the exact same thing. And that's where it kind of got, born out of. Do you know what I mean?
So when all three of you are in a room,
yeah, it's a great question, man. It's
like
weird.
who dominates? Because I mean, you might be the funniest, but you're probably not the most dominant. I'm guessing your grandfather.
Probably
would be,
my
right?
granddad. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably my granddad. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, he's like 80 something now. It's his birthday today, actually. Yeah. He's 80 something. Yeah, it's still like very charismatic. Driven. And then
Clearly not watching this show right now. on his
No, he
birthday.
wouldn't even know how to turn the
Doesn't even
computer
know
on.
what-
Quite frankly.
He
Yeah.
doesn't even know what the internet is.
Yeah. He's like Howard Stern, huh?
That's why he's funny. Great.
But yeah, I don't know. It is interesting, like how that all. I mean, it all comes back to your parents in many regards. You know what I mean?
Man, I have great memories of my father telling my sister and I jokes before going to bed.
Yeah.
I remember that clearly.
Yeah.
It was not a storyteller kind of guy. He was telling jokes.
And that didn't like filter to you at all?
Can you tell us a joke?
Yeah,
Can you
man,
tell a
us-
joke
tell
that
us
he
one of
was
your dad
telling you?
jokes,
Oh man, if I can tell a joke. So these two babies are in the room after you're born, and they're there just cruising, and then one pokes at the other and says, "Hey, hey," and then the other one wakes up. What? And he looks at the other one and he says, "I'm a boy." And the other one is like, "How do you know?" And then he grabs his little blankets, pulls it off, points it down, and says, "Look, blue shoes." There you go. That's a cute child's
That's good.
joke for you.
My
guys.
mind was going somewhere completely
I
different.
know,
now,
right?
joke.
That's why I said it was a joke that you would tell a
The
child.
classic misdirect.
Yeah.
Zing.
Is there room for jokes still nowadays?
In what context?
Because stand-up comedy is taking over, and do we still have those guys going out there to tell jokes on stage?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
still a thing?
Yeah, like jokes, you mean?
Jokes.
Oh, like
yeah.
less anecdotes and stuff
Doing
like that?
like a whole set
that
of
sort of
telling
joke.
jokes.
Oh yeah. Anthony Jeselnik, classic example for sure. Yeah, Sam Morril, very similar style. Mark Norman, yeah. Dude, there's more comedy now than there's ever been. There's something for everybody out there. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's just probably harder to find because it's just like so buried in like so many mountains of content.
Yeah.
But those style of jokes are everywhere. Yeah, it's great. Onion, one of my favorite fake. The Onion, the fake news article thing. One of my favorite, and they do a lot of style, like jokes like that kind of style.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah, definitely.
Would you go for joke style or stand-up trauma?
Yeah.
Trauma.
No, I don't.
You like trauma? Bro?
I honestly, for me, especially when I used to drink, I used to be sort of a bit of a funny guy in the room.
Yeah.
But I would sort of always be like, it's not really funny if someone's going to be offended for it to be funny, and that's sort of like my style of what I like to listen to comedy wise.
Yeah.
I like it to be like,
That's why you like Tim Dillon?
yeah,
Yeah.
and like Daniel Tosh, I find him quite funny, even though he can be kind of boring sometimes. But what's the other fella who just did that big roast of Will and Jada, and he's in like the
Roast King?
the outfit.
Oh, like a night, like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw
What's
that.
his
He
name?
went
Schultz.
hard. Hey, what's his
Andrew,
name?
and is it Andrew? Andrew?
Oh,
Schultz?
Andrew Schultz?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's talking about Will Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flagrant. With Akash
Flagrant too,
Singh.
whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Andrew Schultz.
Like I
yeah.
like that sort of stuff, like that. Like it's sort of like if someone's at home going,
Pretty
"Ugh."
harsh, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I for a
I like
long
that sort
time
of
I was really into Louis C.K., especially that Louis the
show?
the
Yeah,
the
uh-huh.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
It was shame what happened and everything, but like that sharpness. Well,
shame.
that's a shame, man.
Real
It's a
tragedy.
shame. Well,
That's cancel culture. for
but
you.
that style of being sharp, eh? Like that.
Yeah,
that's-
he's great joke writer. Yeah.
He's hilarious.
He's funny. Yeah, he's a funny guy.
and then New Zealand guys, man, give us some names because you are out there with your bros. You're doing the comedy, like, so we can do some research for the people watching at home.
Yeah. So great. I mean, listen, some of the old cats. I mean, Brendan Lovegrove's fucking one of the classic examples. Hilarious. You got people like Vaughn King. Yeah, there's like a whole new school of comedians coming up as well, though. Like people you see on TV, like Reese Matheson, Eli, James Roque, Ray O'Leary. hilarious. There's a bunch of like, I'm a big fan of this one comedian called Becky Umbers, who isn't on TV or anything at the moment. She's hilarious. You got it. There's a bunch of people who are just on the verge of like getting to the TV work, and that's when everyone kind of like recognizes.
Do any of them have a Netflix special?
No. I think there's a comedian called Nick Rotto who's hilarious, who I highly recommend. Getting in on. He's so funny. I think he almost had Netflix kind of deal, but
I was only joking about that.
no, man, he almost had it, but then COVID, and then that whole thing kind of got canned. He was going to go over to Australia. Be like, I might be talking crap there, don't know, but potentially, yeah. What's this? Is this me?
This is our last question of the night.
Oh yeah.
It's actually asking me, but I'll send it to you. Leo, is Gavin on Tinder?
I got a girlfriend. Sorry, I'm not. I'm not on Tinder.
Sorry, Chloe.
That is so sweet, though, Chloe.
He's not. And she's a babe.
Is she actually? Is she watching live now?
She's a babe, bro.
Would it be weird if?
Would it be weird if suddenly I'm on Tinder?
Yeah, no. Chloe, that's very sweet, but I have a girlfriend.
Would you go for a threesome?
I'm
not saying that Chloe would.
Yeah,
Maybe she would, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'd really have to. I feel like I need a few. There's an interesting line, right, where it's like you don't really know the person that you're dating super well. Where it's like, it's like whatever,
No, the threesome is 3 guys.
Oh, then absolutely. Yeah, no questions. Yeah. Boys, yo, podcast 2.
It's the midnight show.
And then it's just a bunch of.
So no, keep going. You were going somewhere before Brent spent the water.
That is what it would sound like too. Yeah. You'd be doing all the yelling though.
I would. I know I would. I reckon there's like the early stages of like you're dating someone where it's like you're not super like you don't care about them, but you don't like it's like you're not like super like I would have a really tough time, I think, seeing my girlfriend with another dude. Right. Even if it was like the concept of a threesome, I would hate that. I know it would break me. I know it. And probably with another girl as well. I'd probably have a really tough time. But maybe, like 5 years down the road when it's like we're super comfortable with each other and we know each other super well and you're not in a phase of like maybe she'll like this other person kind of thing. Then for sure.
Then 3 guys and she watches.
Yeah. Ends up like really liking the dude who's pounding me.
That's what Will Smith has to do anyway. Just watch.
I don't know, man. I think there's that weird like window of time where it's like I'm still super fresh in my relationship, so definitely not. Like, yeah. Have you? Would you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Haven't had it yet.
Man.
You're a single man, dude.
Haven't had it yet. Gotta be honest about that one.
No?
Don't think I would go for it and look for it. But yeah, if it happens, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I'm just trying to get more into this space of like just experience things. Yeah. Oh,
I'm trying
not
to put
threesomes.
myself
Like,
in as
man.
many threesome situations.
Well, if they come to me, the right people. Nah, just like
Monkey House Theater,
Yo,
threesome central, baby.
man, like good place for an orgy. That one, pretty,
Yeah,
dark
we're all gonna be sleeping at the theater as well. Yeah, dark. Yeah.
Man, like just I don't know, open to experiences, man.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you? Would you with your wife?
With my wife, my partner of 15 years. No, I wouldn't.
Good on you.
It's because he said 5 years maybe down the road, but when he passes 5, he gets to 15, and we don't even talk about it anymore.
We don't even look at each other.
I don't think I'd even have the physical energy.
Yeah. No,
I don't know if I please my wife, let alone 2 women.
I don't know if I can disappoint 2 people, let alone.
Oh, I could disappoint them, all right.
Mm.
I'm too busy not getting erection with one person. Okay.
Before we ruin these relationships here at the table, we're gonna cut it. We're gonna get Brett. Thanks for this, man. That was fun.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What a cool show.
That was good.
Thank
Gavin, thank you so
thank
much,
me.
my man. What
Thank
a
you.
pleasure. So,
Try hard.
tell us more about the show. Tell us more about where to find you.
Yes.
Here we go.
So tomorrow, Monkey House Theater, we got 2 shows, one at 6:30, one at 8. $15. It's going to be myself, a guy called Vasu Prem Kumar and Connor McSweeney. We're all going to be doing some stand-up,
yeah.
varying ranges of styles. It's going to be fun. There'll be slang there for everybody. Well, 3 straight white dudes, but
Oh yeah, the what?
actually,
the
no.
second guy?
Sorry, Vasu is Sri Lankan, I believe. Sri Lankan, yes. And so it's gonna be it'll be fun. It'll be a fun night. We're very like we're all just having a good time, is what it really is. It's gonna be cool. It's an hour-long show. If you come to a later one, definitely stick around, have a drink. We got nothing going on the night of, so definitely down to just get out about.
Man.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be keen, and then it's gonna be keen to have a good time. There you go. And then you can follow me on Instagram at gavin.hughes. And yeah, thank you guys for the opportunity to talk for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's been fun.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, my man.
Too easy.
What a pleasure.
All right, guys.
So we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I think there's going to be a special pop-up show on Sunday. You guys should stay tuned because we have some cool things happening this weekend. So follow us on our social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, your dick will fall off. Just like that. Sorry. I'll see you guys
seen
next
it.
time.
Soon.
Bye. Ciao.
ALTBAYS